Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. I am Virgil Cobalt. This is the fifth episode of Spilling the Tea, and we are joined this episode with Sam Gamer 101.
Hello.
Yes, yes. And thank you for the follow, Omega097. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. Um, now,
There's a dragon in my wagon, and I don't mean to
thank
be
you very much
bragging,
for the
but
follow,
the best
KP
wagon,
VTuber.
dragon in a wagon you could meet.
Now, so let's see. We'll start off by allow Sam to introduce herself, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely, I can. But hello, my name is Sam, or Sam Gamer 101. I am a hedgehog VTuber who does a lot of spooky, scary stuff on Twitch. I'm also on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Blue Sky, uh, surprisingly Instagram. But yeah, I do a lot of spooky, scary stuff because I'm a huge fan of horror, especially when it comes to video games as well as movies. But yeah, that is me.
All right. It's a pleasure to have you on this episode. Um,
Thank you so much for having me.
yes, yes, I've been looking forward to this. So let me, um, and so we do have how we do this is we have a number of questions that we'll be asking that we ask our guests for a list of questions. But of course, if anyone in chat does happen to have a question, and I'll remind folks later on, and for folks that pop in or whatever. But if you have any questions you would like to ask for our guest, please feel free to put those in the chat, and we will do our best to get to those. So, without further ado, where did I put those questions? Did I close it? Did I close?
Bestie, I feel that.
I think
We're
yeah.
starting off real. I understand.
I closed the text document. I keep them. Okay, it's back.
I'm sorry. Like that there just kind of explained my life.
Uh, at least it's not. So I think this has happened once or whatever, where it's, because we're doing this over Discord. So, but normally when I'm like streaming or whatever, I normally like close Discord and something like that. So I have to consciously make sure I don't accidentally close Discord because I need it up. Otherwise, the audio will be I will be hanging up.
No.
Uh,
So I've done that before, like, because I'll be doing like collabs every once in a while, and it's such a habit for me to close down Discord while I stream because it's running in the background. I don't need it.
mhm.
So I'll catch myself wanting to close it down. I'm like, wait, hold on, I can't hang up on it. Wait a second.
uh, oh, mood. All right, so we'll start off with some softball questions, and we'll move on to more complicated
Alright,
stuff.
lay it on me.
But so let's start with what is your favorite color?
Ooh. So, my favorite color is actually blue. And it's more I guess like a light blue, not a dark blue. But yeah, it's actually blue.
Hmm.
People think it's yellow, but that is actually not the case.
Okay, so it's blue abadi abadai.
I you know what? I'm leaving. No, that was terrible. No. No. That was awful. How freaking dare you?
uh, any of my viewers are probably used to me saying something really dumb by this point, or
Every time you do, I'm gonna walk off screen and be like, no, I'm done.
saying something or doing a your mom joke or something like that.
I haven't
Or
heard those jokes in forever, so it's gonna throw me off because I'm gonna be like, uh no, because I won't know how to react.
uh, normally it's if something common is said in the game or whatever, and I'm like, just like your mother.
Just like your mom. No, you leave my mother out of this. Who
Uh,
asked you?
uh, all right, next, what is your favorite drink?
Ooh, easy root beer. And I know there's like there's like different like types of like root beer.
Hmm.
Honestly, like A&W, whatever, I really enjoy all of them. So definitely root beer. If if root beer is not an option, then Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
Hands
okay.
down. Yep, hands down. Second place, Dr. Pepper.
So root beer in general, and if you have a and if you have a choice in brand, A&W.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Uh, so here's a question. So if you drink tea, what is your preferred tea?
I sadly don't drink tea. I drink a little bit of like coffee, but even that I'm surprisingly like I'm very picky. I because I've tried tea once or twice, but I can't tell you like the brand or what it was, and I didn't like it. But the thing is like it smells good, but when I taste it, I'm like, man, that is not what I thought it was gonna taste like. So I'm hoping later on in my life my taste buds change so I can actually enjoy tea. But as of right now, I don't like tea.
Yeah, probably I was asking, was it bitter? If it was
I
because yeah, go
think
ahead.
so. I don't remember because this was like a few years ago.
Okay, what was like the color of the brew, like just
Uh,
as it was?
it was it was kind of like it was definitely like, almost like a light brown, I want to say,
Mhm.
but I don't. That's the best I could tell you. It's been years.
Yeah, I will say stop by a tea house, Master Pruitt. Yeah, yeah. I will say it's one of those things that uh like sadly a lot of your typical you know so most tea that's served in America is actually grown. If I were to ask you where do you think it's grown, what would you say?
Oh, I have no idea. Definitely not probably in the US.
Yeah, which that's correct. It's not the U.S., but it's what would you be expecting the answer of Argentina?
No.
Yeah,
No, I would not.
yeah. So a lot of it, this may have changed somewhat slightly in like more recent years, but it's South Carolina. Yeah, they do grow some like stuff in Carolina, I think, or in some location they've like tried. It's just tea is one of those. It's pretty much the environment for tea to be grown is pretty much Southeast Asia.
Gotcha.
So, uh, you know, though there are like some places like so like some places in Africa, um, uh, they will also grow tea varieties that are normally like this specifically for black teas. So
Mhm.
there are some of those, and those can be quite good. But most of it's um, the origin of the tea plant is in China and
Gotcha.
kind
I've
of
learned something new.
like southwest China, pretty much. Uh, so it's which so general quality in the U.S. is quite low, unfortunately, as far as teas, as far as what
Yeah.
commonly get, because if you're going most tea in the U.S., how it's preferred in the term of the quintessential sweet tea, which is good. But if you're drinking it, you know, with a whole bunch of sugar in it, you don't really have to do much on that. It kind of
Yeah.
it kind of blows out any other like flavors or stuff like that on tea. So it's one of those things where it's like if I were to like set you up with like here's a decent brand of like a sampler stuff,
Mhm.
chances are I could probably find some type that you might like, depending on like the types of flavors you typically like and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So anyway, but wait, welcome in Pyro. So so
Hey, Pyro.
so that may be a project or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. Because I wouldn't mind like trying it again. Because I'm assuming it's finding something that I enjoy. As of right now, I again haven't had a lot of like time to really like explore tea, so
Mm,
I know little to nothing of it.
yeah. It's kind of like with beers and like if your only experience is something like an India Pale Ale or something like that, or a very like specific type, which they definitely run run the gambit. Uh, we let's see. Popcat is saying you thought you came for an interview. We're really recruiting for you, the cult of tea. This is
When I
true.
was reading, I'm like, you're not wrong. But like I'm learning like valuable information, so like I'm not complaining. I'm sitting here like like ready to take notes. I just don't have pen and paper because I wasn't prepared to like be thrown
Mm.
like this information. I was like, oh, write that down, write that down.
Yes, the name of the show being Spilling the Tea is not a reference to gossip. The tea is not gossip. This tea is literal tea.
I thought it was gossip. I was like, oh, Bestie, listen, if you want to spill tea, I got you. Come here. The amount of knowledge that I know about that. Oh my goodness.
This is not a show about like dumb things some streamer has said on Twitter or whatever. This is literal about tea.
Damn. I did not come prepared. I did not study the material. Frick. Damn. Hold on. Quick. I'm looking up information. I got you. Hold on. Anyway.
Good tea like good anything is a game changer. Oh yeah. Sure to spill it on the tea pet. Oh yeah, there are these little. So like, if you want to go really really fancy with your teas, with your tea prep and serving it, there are these things called tea pets, and they're these little figurines of different like creatures or whatever that you would just have next to your tea set and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So that is so you know what a tea pet is.
No, so I think I've seen it like heaven forbid I bring up frickin' TikTok. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
But 'cause I was freaking scrolling and I think I came across like one of them where there was just like these I want to say they were made out of wood, but I don't know what material it actually was. But they were pouring like tea over like these like animal shaped wood things. Like some of them were like shiny, brand new, and like other ones were like cracked, and you can tell they've been through like a lot. And I'm just like, oh, that's so cool and so pretty. But like, why are you wasting tea like that? Is there a reason why they do that?
They may have been just pouring it on for like the sake of the video or something like that, you
Uh-huh.
know. But so I'm not exactly sure on in that particular instance.
Gotcha.
Um, if I had to guess, maybe for like the video or something like that.
Probably, probably, yeah.
Uh, or tea hedgehog.
You're right. I need to go get me a tea hedgehog. Hold on. I gotta go find that online.
Hold on, let me see. Is there a tea pet? Okay.
Find it. Find it, bestie. I need to know.
Oh my gosh, there is.
Is there?
Yeah, just a hedgehog tea pet, and there'll be a number of results that'll pop up.
To Google. Away. Hedgehog.
And it's even yellow, at least the one that I was finding. Hold on. Let me see if I can pop it up for chat. Ta-da! So I was able to pop it up on the screen. Uh-oh. Are you muted?
I am. Listen, I fat fingered. Listen, you can't judge me. You stop laughing. No, listen, it's not a proper stream until something goes wrong. You're welcome. I was the one thing that went wrong. But no,
It's
look, it's me IRL. You're welcome, chat. Love me. I'm not normally that small, I swear.
yeah. But I imagine there probably is. You could probably find like a. Oh wait, yeah, I read that wrong. I join an Orient counter scuff.
Sam Scum. Listen, okay, so I'm known for like just messing up streams. Leave me alone, Cyrus.
There's a dragon in my wagon, and I don't mean to be bragging about the best tail wagon dragon in a wagon you could
Let's
be.
see. No, thank you very much for the follow, Dr. Cyrus. Which that actually, how much, how close am I now to? I'm scared to look. How much close am I to the 600 follower goal?
Around 11, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, 11 more.
If it updated.
Yeah. Cause
Yeah. So, sorry.
then that means cursed fanfic reading time. Which, if it were to happen on this stream, I wouldn't. I would wait till after our interview, and then I guess I would do it then if it happened. So that way you could head out and not have to stick around for me spending probably like 30 minutes doing this reading.
Listen, I think I would like pull up a chair and go sit and chat and just listen to you read.
The fanfic picked out. Yeah, it says it on the thing. It's this fanfic that's literally Sonic High School.
Oh. Like it's just like when was it written? Do you know?
Probably sometime in the 2000s.
Oh no. It's gonna be cringy. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh please. No, bestie. Can I have a confession. I have a confession.
Oh no.
So I've written Sonic fan fiction, but my thing is like I was writing it in high school, but it was more like adult themed, and that's actually where like my OC came from. I didn't originally have an OC. Listen. It was one of those where I was trying to do the whole like the older stop laughing. It was one of the stories where like the older generation is like stepping down and the newer generation kind of stepping up. So Dr. Robotnik kind of going crazy, and then Sonic and Friends kind of getting older and having kids, and you know getting up there in age and being like, man, this isn't as easy as this once was, as like some of their kids and like the younger generation kind of stepping up and having like to take over the fight. It was kind of like one of those because I really enjoyed the more like dark side when it comes to like the Sonic stuff. So I was trying to write a more mature, and then so when I go read these fan fictions, I'm like, oh, that's so cringe. But like looking back at my stuff, I'm like, oh, that's even more cringe.
No,
So,
I'm sure Sonic High School will probably make you like, you'd be like, wow, my high school self does not feel so cringe right now.
I know, and I'm so excited because like for one, I'm excited for you to be tortured on stream reading that cringy story. But two, like this story is gonna make my story look like a fan, like an author, like really sat down and really worked on it. When really I just kind of sat down, was writing it in between classes. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah, I'm. This is one of those things that it's like, for it to describe it, the level of cringe. It's like someone in 5th grade or 6th grade wrote this and was like, "Oh man, this is badass." That's the kind of energy it has.
I gotta dodge Amy because Amy will follow me down the hallway, and Shadow's so edgy. My teachers don't understand.
So,
I just need to stop.
something that a very sheltered 6th grader wrote in like mid 2000s and thinks was like really edgy and bad. That is kind of the energy of this fanfic.
Oh, have you already like skimmed through some of it?
Oh, so I know of it because the internet historian. Like he is like on his like secondary channel. Like he did a reading with a number of other internet folks of this with its with various accompanying graphics and stuff like that. So I know the whole thing.
Oh no!
So I've heard it all at this point.
Oh, and then now you're going to be sharing it with
Yeah,
your community. Man, aren't you guys like so happy that we could be bringing this in a
yeah.
quick kind of course?
So if y'all find 11 more people, it can happen tonight after the interview. But
Oh my god, listen, we're gonna do our best, which be such a shame if, I made another in my Discord. Oh, that's such a
oh
shame.
gosh,
No, no, please, no, 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 no. Chat, you don't understand. You don't understand the potential. You listen. You are here for greatness, and the greatness is the Sonic fan fiction.
listen. Honestly, I've I've done I've done two readings of live streaming readings of My Immortal. So like after that, nothing phases me. You have to understand.
Listen, I'm listening. I gotta. There's a very important message that I gotta write by Discord.
So I which I do have that archive, my reading of My Immortal. So someone wants plug for my YouTube. There we go. Uh, for the link, exclamation YouTube will work. Yeah, so it would definitely be. Anyway, so next question, what is your favorite dessert?
Ooh, ooh. That's actually a really hard question because I'm not super into like sweets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I had to pick one, there, I want to say I'm leaning more towards like a sugar cookie because usually I'm not a huge fan of cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very picky. But there's just it depends on the sugar cookie. But there's some sugar cookies that are so freaking good that I could like eat every day and then just get sick off of it, and then I would come back for more. So, because if not, I would want to say like cupcakes, but how I eat cupcakes is I scrape off the like if I don't like the icing, I just scrape off the icing and I just eat, the rest of the cupcake, which is really I know it's really weird,
So you're
but
the opposite of that one kid, right? Of that one little kid that does their thing. Like, I just eat the icing. Oh.
No, I guess I'm the opposite. So, because there's some icings that it's like it bothers my teeth, and so like if let's say I'm at a party with like my family, uh for like example, like my mom has like a sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go up and I'll scrape most of the icing onto her cupcake and just walk away. And I'll be eating my like slightly frosted cupcake. Leave me alone, don't touch me. But yeah, so it would have to probably be like more like sugar cookies if that would count.
I know that counts. That's fine. All right. So, next question. What be and with on these like favorite questions, um, if you need to give like a top two or top three because you're having trouble figuring out, that's perfectly fine. So, but what would be your favorite book?
Oh, favorite book. Okay. Okay. So I am kind of a book nerd, but some of the books that I read I can't really talk about on stream because they're not appropriate. So I
Okay, now
have to
I
be
have to know. I don't care. Just say it.
I well, okay, so I like to read like like smut books.
Okay. Oh,
So
so like that stuff on what was it? Like that I don't know. There's like a YouTuber where it was like Papa Meat. It's like that he did an episode like on like the TikTok books or whatever, that it's all like all the smut books that it's
Yes.
like the
Oh my goodness.
and they give all the TMI on how this physiologically affects the readers.
Yes. Yes. Bestie. I don't. My thing is, I don't know if I can pick a book. I'm trying to see. Actually, no. I probably could, because even though it's not really in my demographic anymore, in high school, I was a huge fan of the series called what was it called? Um, Rick, hold on. The Immortal Instrument? Let me look that up. I'll make sure that's right.
I think you accidentally muted yourself again.
Frick! Dang it! My good man. By the way, this is gonna be scuff recording. It is called the Immortal Instrument, and it's more aimed for like young adult.
Mm-hmm.
So I think me going back to read it now, I might not enjoy it, but that was one of my favorite books, and it to quickly kind of explain, it's one of those where like it's on Earth, there's humans, but secretly there's a world happening around humans that the humans aren't aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like vampires, werewolves, uh like mermaids and wizards and all, yeah, all this like magic stuff that, and they're kind of hiding among humans. But we end up Sam, sorry, I just saw Cyrus yelling at me. But yeah, so there is also like a group of I want to say that they're humans, but I don't remember. So my mind is a little shady. But there's a group of humans called, I believe, the Shadow Hunters,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of like the police force of this magic world. So if like monsters kind of start stepping out of line, they kind of go out and take them out. That makes sense. But there's like this whole massive world, and it really sucks that you know they tried to bring the story to life to like the big screen,
Okay, yeah, I was
and
about to ask, was it there was like a movie of like the first one, wasn't there?
yes, yeah, and it didn't really do too well. And apparently they also tried to make a series, but I didn't even watch the series, so I'm not sure. So I don't even know how. I'm assuming the series did terrible because I didn't hear anything after that.
Hmm.
But I was super into that. And then now I've kind of been hopping back and forth. I'm more now interested in kind of like the 18 like plus books, but also I've been getting into like horror novels. So you should like just one-off books. But I've been kind of getting into those, and I don't really have one in particular that I enjoy because I've been hopping books. But yeah, I would say the Immortal Instrument would probably be my favorite.
Okay, nice. And I was wondering, okay, hold on. There is an image that, okay, yes, I found it. That came to mind.
Oh no. Sorry, I was making another at on my Discord of like, hey, 11 followers, read like cringy Sonic High School fanfic.
Okay, I just want this one image. Think. Okay, hold on. I'll just screenshot this thing. Oh, Uh,
Oh, I'm worried what you grabbed.
you should be.
There's
Oh
a dragon
no.
in my wagon, and I don't mean to be bragging about the
Oh,
best tail wagon.
welcome in,
dragon
Raccoon
a
Druid. Thank you
wagon
very much
could
for the
be.
follow. I like that username, Raccoon Druid.
Hello,
There's a
Raccoon.
dragon in my wagon, and I don't mean to be bragging about the
Nick.
best tail wagon. dragon
Thank you
in
very
a
much for the
wagon
follow,
you could
White
be.
Tiger 579. Oh, thank you. Followed.
There we
There's
go.
a dragon
We're
in
doing
my
it, we're
wagon,
doing it,
and I
we're
don't
doing it.
mean
Thank
to
you
be
guys.
bragging about
G-
the best
G-
tail wagon.
GN2.
dragon in a wagon you could be.
Oh,
idea.
okay, but here is the image this discussion reminded me of. Oh, yeah, I'll just
Oh
cut.
my god, I have all those books on my wish list to read. I'm being called out. This is unfair. This is unfair. I am being called out. I am offended. How freaking dare? I'm gonna leave. But no, we are $8 away from 600 for you to read cringy high school Sonic fan fiction. I hope you know that. So, payback. I'm being called out. I
Uh,
hate this.
okay, and then let's see. So next, what would be your favorite movie?
Oh, mm, a lot to pick from.
And once again, you can
Mm,
do like top 2 or 3.
top 2 or 3. Definitely Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, so Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm gonna be digging back into my childhood. But Spirit Sound of the Cimarron is also like top tier
Mm-hmm.
because I believe every person gets one pass on like a movie that is like their 10 out of 10, like no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, Spirit, is my 10 out of 10. You can't change my mind. Yes, I know there's flaws, but it's my 10 out of 10. Let me pick one more. So Sonic 2, Sound of the Samurai, and mm,
And I believe it's pronounced cinnamon, so Stallion of the Cinnamon.
Stallion of the Samurai. It is not. Um. Oh frick. You know
Chat,
what? I'm just
try to gaslight
no,
Sam into
no,
thinking it's
no. It
pronounced
is
cinnamon.
not. It is not. I'm gonna fight you. You know, I'm gonna leave it there. Those are my top two. There you go. Top two. Bam. Slap. You can't change my mind. How dare you try to gaslight me? Bestie. Live on Twitch. How could you?
Uh,
Or in recording. How dare?
let's
I'm
see.
offended.
Gaslighting doesn't exist. You're crazy.
I Bestie, I'm about to fight you. I'm gonna fight you virtually. Me and you, we're gonna get on Minecraft and I'm gonna destroy you.
Um, let's see. What would be a favorite musician?
Ooh. Uh, all right. I feel like I'm gonna be called out. I am a sucker for Fall Out Boy. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Fall Out Boy. I'm such a fangirl. Leave me alone. Fall Out Boy is my favorite. I will listen to him whenever I please. That's it.
Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, Raccoon is
it
asking.
I do. But also, a another group that I would like to bring to people's attention because most of their music you can play on stream is the Midnight. So when it comes to streaming, they are my favorite band to play because I would say about like 95% of their songs are not copyrighted. So if you look up the Midnight, I highly recommend them. I adore their music. But yeah, if it's not about streaming, then definitely a Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, that's always cool and like bands specifically be like, yeah, you can use. Yeah, we're okay with if you use our music when you're streaming or whatever. I
Yes.
I want to say I think the band like Dragon Force is like the same thing. I'd have to like double check, but I thought I heard like them saying or whatever that at least a lot of their stuff is kind of like, yeah, if you want to use this for streaming, it's fine.
It was the same with like the Midnight because I didn't realize that they didn't copyright their obviously there's like a few, so you kind of have to be careful, but that's why I said like 90 to 95% because just about all their songs, you're not going to be hit with anything. There's just like a handful that you kind of have to be careful about because sometimes they do like covers, so those are kind of the ones you got to look out for. So usually if that comes up in rotation, I'm like, oh, and
Oh yeah.
skip.
Okay. Now what would be your favorite album though?
My favorite album. Oh, for like Fallout Boy? Ooh.
Or like any, it could be like any just favorite album period. So if that's gonna be a Fallout Boy album, then
It's definitely gonna be Fallout Boy. Um I'm looking up the albums because there's a specific one that I love. And I couldn't remember the name of it. Okay, it's the one where Save Rock and Roll.
Mm.
I think that one hands down is my favorite because I really enjoyed most of the music from that album. The other ones I'm picky with. So honestly, I haven't heard some of the newer songs, but yeah, definitely Save Rock and Roll from Fallout Boy.
Mm. Okay. Oh. Oh, we have a raid. A raid Shadow Legend. Welcome in, Kit the Fox. Okay, make sure you give you a shout out. But welcome on in. We are welcoming to this episode of Spilling the Tea, the 5th episode where we joined with Sam the Gamer 101. And let me make sure
Hi, Kit.
I spell things right.
Kit, did you lose your flashlight on the way here?
And you are less playing Tales of Vesperia. Ooh.
Turn it off.
It's nice.
When did I turn it off? Sonny!
No, you lost your.
Sonny, I swear to God.
Did you lose your internet?
Oh no.
I didn't steal that. I stole your flashlight.
I'm sorry. Your net was lost. But I hope you're enjoying Tales. I was actually not long ago I was doing through a Tales of game. It was Tales of Symphonia. Which that was fun. But yeah, I hope you had a good stream. Stream disconnected and reconnected 3 times. Oof.
Oh, frick.
That's really frustrating when that happens.
There's a dragon in my wagon, and I don't mean to be bragging about the best tail wagon dragon in a wagon you could
Where
meet.
Virgil, speaking of, where Virgil will read a cringy Sonic High School fanfiction, which I really want to hear. Please.
There's
I
a dragon
beg.
in my wagon, and I don't mean to be bragging about the best tail wagon dragon in a wagon.
Thank you, thank you for the follow, Sandra Chan 1. Thank you very much, and also thank you very much for the follow, Kit the Fox. Thank you for the follow, and also thank you for the for the raid and the following. Much appreciated. But if you need to go take care of yourself after stream, please feel free to do so. But in the meantime, feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy the stream as we're your interview. And once again, if you have any questions because as we're going through the questions, if you happen to have any of your own that you would like to ask Sam, feel free to put those in chat, and we will do our best to try to get to those. But let's see. So we'll go. So what is your favorite game?
My favorite game is Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Solid, hands down. That's actually what sparked my love for horror games, actually.
Oh.
Because before then, I've never really played like a horror game. I was also very new into gaming because I didn't really grow up around games. So I was on YouTube watching some YouTubers, and one of them was playing Dead by Daylight, and it sparked it sparked something in me, and so I bought the game and I started playing it, and which got me to fall in love with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like some of the classics, and really got me into just the love of horror. So I have Dead by Daylight to thank for a lot of the inspiration that I have today.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really neat when you kind of have like that you get into something kind of that like something something of like just like watching some streams or whatever of someone, and then it like leads to this whole like rabbit hole of you getting into another things. Like honestly, I'm trying to think. I believe it was um like, if I'm remembering this right. So when I started like getting into like VTubers or stuff like that in like 2020, I started, so because there's a certain VTuber that a certain Hololive VTuber or whatever that bears a strikingly resemblance in terms of voice and singing genre to a rapper that may or may not have been suggested.
Oh no.
So gotta love it when music algorithms dox you by the recommendation. But
Yeah.
it leaded me into this thing of like getting, because they were playing kind of like this kind of rap hip hop stuff of but kind of more influenced by like Japanese music scene or whatever, which led me down this rabbit hole of like getting to listen kind of more of like some of those like developing somewhat a bit of appreciation like for like Japanese rap or whatever and stuff like that. So like I have several or whatever to have like groups and stuff on playlist. So it's neat when you get into that something can lead like that. It is, I can't word.
No,
It's
you're fine.
interesting how like streamers, how like following like a streamer or stuff like can lead you down to other rabbit holes.
Yeah, I had no idea that a game would have such a big impact on me
Mm,
because I did grow up kind of like sheltered, and my parents were the type of like, I don't care what sport you do, you're going to be doing a sport. So I had games growing up, but I never really had the time to be like a gamer until I was like getting into college,
mm-hmm,
and like a whole new world was opening up and diving into video games. I didn't realize like how much a game could influence me because I've made so many friends through this game. And I've again me falling in love with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and just horror in general. Like I didn't think I was going to get here. I just Dead by Daylight was just kind of my door to a lot of things, and I'm very grateful. Even though the game irritates me, I still adore it, and it still brought a lot of opportunities my way that I am e- extremely grateful for. So,
mm. Okay. Next, so what is your favorite game character?
oh, so if we're talking Dead by Daylight, it's going to have to be I'll say Survivor Meg Thomas because she's my main.
Mm-hmm.
She could be kind of a like a jealous person, but she's I just like her as a survivor, and she's very much one of those like upbeat go 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 type of people. Um, but let's kind of branch out from like Dead by Daylight. So another character I really enjoy would have to be from the Sonic universe. Obviously, me being a Sonic OC. Um, I say definitely. I would say definitely like Sonic. I know, surprisingly. Ooh, ooh. But yeah, definitely like Sonic the Hedgehog because I really do like his personality. Where things get tough, and it's just like, you
Mm,
know what, things will work out. I'm gonna do my best, and I really like that personality, especially in like life as it is now, where like sometimes things just look bleak and dark, and it's like, man, I don't really know, what I'm doing, but just having kind of like a positive, someone positive, like a positive like personality kind
mm,
of around you, even though it's from a video game character, it's still really nice to have someone that has like a bright outlook on life, and to kind of surround yourself by that to kind of give you that little push in the right direction of like, hey, maybe things will be okay.
mm.
I think that's why I really liked, I like Sonic's personality.
Oh yeah, Sonic's like on his own merit is like a good character. I mean and that's the reason why he's become so iconic. Iconic design, and then with a good character And that's always, if you come up with a good solid character concept and design and like that, I mean, they're going to stick around. Chances are they're going to stick around. And I guess, yeah, and like the you know, inspiring type of character, there's I just finished up like a couple weeks ago or whatever, but there's one of the characters that's been kind of the main protagonist for the two of the main line of the Yakuza games. So this would be Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The main protagonist, both those, his name is Ichiban Kasuga, and he's also one of those characters that it's like is a genuinely like inspiring, optimistic despite difficult circumstances and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of people resonate with that, especially because the character is like 42 and when you like meet him. So the fact that
Yeah.
it's also older, so it's not just inspiring for people growing up, but also the fact that when you do have a character that's like in this older and that's this older guy, that it's like hey, it's never too late to you know try to improve and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
uh so it's generally cool when you find like just genuinely like wholesome inspirational characters. you know I know I'm kind of a doomer, but even I'm like, yeah, it's just nice when you come across stuff like that. So
It really is. No, listen, I understand. I get you. Absolutely same. Or preaching to the choir, basically.
uh okay, so here's a question, a different thing, but what is your favorite word?
Favorite word. Oh. Mm, favorite word. Surprisingly, it would probably be hedgehog. I like I just something about the word hedgehog. I'm like, damn. Mm.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, it does have a very like interesting, hedgehog. It's almost like two different words, but it's not. It's one
Yeah,
word.
but like it's like crammed into one, but like it's like hedge and then hog are like two different things, but like put together, they're just like they make up a word. It's like
Hmm.
hedgehog. I'm like, huh, I don't know. I really like the word hedgehog.
Oh, and thank you for the
Okay.
follow. Nocturne. Wait, Nocturne
What is it?
Ecoons.
Nocturne, welcome in.
I'm just making sure I read that twice or whatever. Sometimes,
No, you're fine.
uh, I don't know why my follow that trigger didn't alert, or my follower alert didn't trigger.
It might be delayed.
I got a lot of them. It may be tired.
your listen, your alerts were like, Bestie, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm tired. How dare. Also, we are 5 followers away from that goal for you.
Oh no.
Are you ready to read Sonic fan fiction on stream?
Uh, all right.
That that sigh just said it all. You're like, I wasn't planning this today.
Let's see. And then so here's a follow-up question. What is your least favorite word?
Ooh. D- Okay, my least favorite word is coward.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's because it's been used on me before by people I cared about, and I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't, excuse me. So even if people tell that word to me playfully, I still take it really wrong because it just
Hmm.
leaves a bad like taste like in my mouth, whether I'm like using it or it's being like used against me. I can't stand that word. Like those are fighting words. I don't know why. Like originally, because if you were to tell me like another, like call me something else, I wouldn't be offended. But for some reason, it's that word that is like my fighting word. If you want to fight, you call me that. And I don't know why. it's almost like I have to prove a point that I'm not like
Mm,
a coward, but I don't know why. I get like so offended, like I'm gonna go fight you now.
mm,
So it is
uh,
probably my least favorite word.
mm. Okay, so here's on a lighter note though, then what is your favorite curse word?
Favorite curse word. Fuck. Very simple. It's short, simple, to the point. Absolutely. That's it.
And it is very versatile.
Yes, because it doesn't have to. Because a lot of people, when you think curse word, for me, sometimes I think like it comes to mind that curse words are usually used against someone. Uh, Fuck doesn't have to be used against someone, and it's just like a word that you could throw into a sentence and it just makes you feel better. Or like, have you stubbed your toe and you're just like fuck, and it just makes you feel better. So yeah, that
Okay.
is my favorite. That's my favorite curse word.
Okay. Uh, right. Let's see. Okay. Next question. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh, I wanted to be. I wanted to be an author, and I would still like to eventually try to go and be an author. If not, my second thing I would want to do was to try and be a voice actor.
Hmm.
So those are my top two, other than like content creation, because that's something that I'm trying to do now.
Hmm. Okay. And then, so I think we'll have time for one more question before we have to go on commercial break.
Okay,
Um,
I'll try to be quick.
but what is your favorite type of pizza?
Pizza? Okay, listen, I am a basic hedgehog. Pepperonis.
Hmm.
Pepperonis. Like I I'm okay with like extra cheese, maybe some like jalapenos, but honestly, pepperoni, safest bet. 10 out of 10. I'm always gonna go for pepperoni pizza.
Hmm. And regular crust or thin crust or some other.
Honestly, I prefer the thin crust because I do like to eat the crust. I'm not one of those that likes to like leave it on the plate and then go
Hmm.
get more pizza. Like you got to eat the crust, okay? Like sometimes I'll get like a dip just so I can eat it, but I prefer thin because it's just easier to get through.
Yeah, and it does have a nice crunch to it.
It does. Oh, when it's not burnt, yes. It depends on how well it's cooked. Like if it's like super hard and it just falls all over the place, I'm like, eh.
Mm.
But if it's really if it's like done correctly, oh my god, it's so good. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's a nice little like extra thing, but it does make a difference just having that nice little crunch. A nice it's it's a nice little contrast texture wise than to the other ingredients normally.
Mhm.
That will be none of the crunchified types.
None of the crunchified or like a crust that's like the crust filled that has like the melted cheese in it.
Mm,
So sometimes that's okay. I gotta be in the mood for that though.
mm, yeah. Yes. Oh my god. All right. So we got to go on a. We'll just do a three. We have to go on a 3 minute commercial break. Um, but then we'll be right back with the interview. Uh, and once again, while we go on this break, if you happen to come up with any questions, feel for Sam or maybe myself, feel free to put those in the chat, and I'll make sure to do my best to get those. But in the meantime, we will see y'all back in just 3 minutes.
Bye chat. See you in three
It's
minutes.
Okay, welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right.
Alright,
Yeah, sorry for
I'm
the
ready.
late run. I had to. A package came or whatever when I was, so we had to. Anyway. All right. So next question. If you had 100 million US dollars to make a movie, what would it be?
A movie. Holy fudge. I think it would be. I would like to bring my story to life. Surprisingly, no, actually no. I think I'd be too embarrassed. The the Sonic fan fiction story that I was telling about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I think I would come up with something completely new. I would want to do like a fantasy, something with dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, hold on.
Dragon D's nuts.
Dragons. I quit. I'm
There's
leaving.
a dragon
Goodbye.
in my wagon, and I don't mean to be bragging.
And I
about the
immediately get a
best
follow
wagon
after I do
dragon
that
in a
one.
wagon you could
It's
meet.
like they followed for the.
Quit. I quit. That's it.
That was
No.
perfect. Thank you for the follow, Santa Laboria. Welcome. Let's see. Oh,
Oh
and
my.
thank you for the tidbits, Fractured Chronos. Go on in.
I'm gonna fight.
There's a dragon
Someone.
in my wagon,
How
and I
freaking dare.
don't mean to
No.
be bragging
Okay.
about the
So
best tail
like
wagon dragon in a
idea.
wagon you could meet.
Idea. After that, sorry.
And thank you for the follow, Fractured Chronos, as well. Thank you very much.
There we go. But my idea is oh god, what was the movie called? It was originally a book and they made it into a movie. Is it Aragon?
If was that the one where it's like the dragons and the where the kids like
Yeah.
because
Like they're like dragon riders.
yeah.
I honestly I would have invested that money into like a remake.
Mm,
I would want to redo that movie so freaking bad. So I think that'd be it. I would redo that movie.
yeah. I remember I was person I interviewed. They were like a fan of like I forget who was that I was doing that interview with that they liked like the book Aragon, but then of course like the movie, then didn't turn out, so they were up with that. But
Yeah.
really, who did I interview? That was maybe it was Jax.
I don't know. I
Anyway,
sadly never read the books, but now I'm curious. I kind of want to go read the books now because I know we're gonna go back to like the book topic, but like another book series that I totally forgot that I've been trying to read is I've been trying to start up Warrior Cats.
hmm
And Bessie, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Send help. There's so many characters and they just kind of throw it at you and you're like I have tiny brain. I'm so confused. I have to do like research beforehand and I have to have like a spreadsheet
yeah.
of like characters off to the side and I'm like this is a massive like
I
series. I can't, I don't know
I
if I
need my
can.
board with like with the thumbtacks and little string to pitch with
No,
to symbol the flow chart of how people are. Okay, who is this person? Now they're the uncle of so and so.
thank you. I need like a family tree off in the corner, and then I need descriptions, and I need like pictures, and like I need like what clans they're a part of, and like I need like big maps, just like all surrounding my book while I read. It's one of those, and reading it, I'm not very far into it, so I understand why people are into it, but it is taking me so freaking long to get into it because I'm so lost. I hear nothing but good things from the series, but I'm like, damn, Bessie, whoa, I gotta do massive research before even like reading the book. Anyway,
It's
sorry, I just quick rant about that.
oh, thank you for the bits for the Popcat for the I forget what those are called where they're like the super Gigantify emotes that use like bits for. But thank you for the bits. I just forget what those are called when you do it.
Gigantify and emo, I believe.
Yeah.
There you go.
When I clever on this says try gigantify, so I'm guessing that's the official technical term, gigantify.
I guess.
But yeah, I get where I listen as a Yakuza fan. That it, I really sometimes do feel like I need I need a chart. I need a chart to like follow sometimes. Cause listen, it's like listen, there's a lot of different clans and these different Yakuza organizations and there and a lot of Japanese names. Okay.
Yep. Good luck, bestie. 'Cause I'm not going to help you. You're on your own.
Let's see. I remember. I that if even if it were, it would be difficult even with if it were just like more Western names or whatever. But it's like, to be fair, a lot of them I do okay, but then there's some that are like, oh my gosh, when they have like when we get to having five consonants in one word, I'm kind of like, oh crap.
Oh no. I gotta go lay down.
Uh,
Give me a second.
uh, let's see. I wish I knew more about Warrior Cats. The fans make some fun animations on YouTube, though.
They do. That's kind of what sparked my interest at first. And then I had like some friends that were like really into it. So I've
Hmm.
been trying to like dip my toe into it, but that's all I've really gotten. So
Okay. Uh. Okay. Now let's see. So next question. So who is your waifu or husbando?
oh my god. Um playfully Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the one I play up. Um man. But I'm sorry, I'm giggling. Leave me alone.
It's fine. It's fine.
So
You giggling is making me laugh. Is what's that's what's making it funny.
stop it.
It's not. It's not the answer. It's your own response to your answer that's making it funny.
Stop it. But like I have a few, like one being Leon Kennedy from the Resident Evil series. Or like Wesker from Resident Evil series or or like Michael Myers or like Ghostface. Anyway,
So you
next topic.
so on that so in other words on that collab with Geronimo, if you a few nights ago you had to get like someone had to go by and like wipe the drool from your mouth when you were doing the you were with
I
the
don't
voice
want
actor.
to talk about it. Oh no! If you're talking, are you talking about with like Nick, the voice actor of Leon?
Yeah.
I was so nervous. I had trouble like speaking. I had trouble like reading because like I'm dyslexic. So I have trouble reading anyways. But because I was so like on edge of like, don't be weird, don't be weird, don't be weird, and
Don't
I
be weird. Don't
couldn't
be weird. Can I
focus.
smell your hair? What?
No, he was like super professional and just like all tidy and everything. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna lose it. I can't. I'm a goofball on the internet, and he's one of like my favorite voice actors. And bestie, I got off and I was like, I'm surprised I made it through that without making a complete fool out of myself.
Nocturne
Other than
says
that,
it's too late, Sam. You're already weird.
oh frick, you're right. God damn. So how dare you call me weird? Nocturne, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna unmod you. And destroyed.
See, we're VTubers. Of course we're weird. Next.
That's true. Oh my good. Well, no. So that's why people have grass around their house because us VTubers we're not allowed to touch grass. So that is yep. That's why people have grass around their homes, so we can't break in.
Which is understandable. Listen.
Hmm. Yep. That's sometimes why I can't leave my house. I gotta wait for the grass to die before I can leave.
Uh,
You are welcome.
there are some people that seem to get like genuinely offended when people like make fun of VTubers or whatever, but then it's like me, no, I'm gonna contribute to jokes.
I like to contribute because it's so freaking funny. And I think it's because yeah, we are VTubers. So like we get the joke that, the haha funny VTubers. We don't touch grass.
Then we're also like,
So
I know someone exactly like this, don't
don't tell anyone. But no, so sometimes I have people because there's like a grass emo, and there's like a thing that you can trigger in VTube Studios where like sometimes like the emotes will drop on your head,
Mm-hmm.
and so they'll spam the grass emote on top of me, and then I'll like pretend like I'm dying and melting and being and being like, oh, the grass, oh, I'm dying, oh, yeah. But yeah. It's the funniest thing ever. Oh God, it's the grass! Quick, Bessie, get down! Oh,
Not the grass.
not the grass. I'm allergic.
Uh, all right. Next, so next question. So now we're getting into more of like the streaming questions specifically. But
Alright.
so what inspired you to get into streaming?
Ooh, this is kind of a long story. Well, not really. Um, Originally, the thought of streaming never crossed my mind. I was a very active member in a group of streamers, and I was like well known. I ended up becoming a mod for a few of them. I was VIP in the rest, and I was just super active. And I don't even remember who it was. I don't know if it was someone random or someone just like in the community that's been there for a while. But they asked me if I had ever streamed before, and it caught me off guard because again, the thought of streaming never crossed my mind. So it caught me by surprise. And I was like, no, I don't stream. And they're like, oh, okay. Like I would have followed you if you did. I was like, huh. And that's what kind of sparked my idea of like, well, I mod for streamers. So I have an idea how like a stream is supposed to run. Let's give streaming a try. So really all I had to learn was like the program, and I started But I told myself I would give streaming a try for about a week
Mm-hmm.
to like 2 weeks, see how I felt. If I didn't like it, then I would stop. If I enjoyed it, I would keep going. And here we are. So, but yeah,
No,
that's how I started streaming.
that's cool. Uh, it's okay. So, because I almost asked uh, this without thinking about it as what I have written down. But how long have you been streaming?
In total, I've been streaming for a little over 6 years.
Wow. Okay, so you've been doing a long time.
Oh yeah. It doesn't feel like it, but yeah, yeah,
Mm,
6 years.
okay. And then why VTubing?
That's a great question. I think it just kind of led up to it because originally when I started, I was no cam, so it was just mic and game, and then maybe some like extra just like wedges in there.
Mm,
Um, and I was some of the people I were hanging out with, they used a program on Steam that it wasn't VTube Studios, it was something else. And they had like characters on screen, and I was like, that was really cool. But I was like, I don't really have the money, or I didn't really want to do that. But I was introduced to PNG tubers, which I didn't realize PNG tubers were a thing, even though I wanted to be one. So I actually made my own PNG tuber, which then led into upgrading to become a VTuber, even though
Mm.
I knew little to nothing about being a VTuber. So I kind of just stumbled upon it without realizing it and then quickly figured out what it was. So it was kind of like just an upgrade that just kept going.
Mm.
So yeah, so it wasn't really like, oh, I see pretty anime girls and I want to be one. It just I didn't really know what VTubing was until I became a VTuber and I was like, oh, this is actually a thing that people do. Yep.
So, so then when did you, I guess, when did you start moving into like being a PNG tuber? And then as far as how long ago was that?
Oh, so let's see. So I was a no cam for I want to say about like 3 years
Hmm.
because I did it strictly as a hobby. So around the third or fourth years when I became a PNG tuber, and I was a PNG tuber for about two-ish years, and then so I've been a VTuber for about a little over 2 years.
Mm. Okay.
So
Uh, okay. So what inspired your design slash theming?
ooh, so my Sonic OC, which is really funny because originally me being a Sonic OC was never planned. Originally, what happened? I got affiliate about a month into streaming,
Hmm.
and excuse me, uh, and we had like a whole bunch of like emotes open up and all that kind of stuff. I knew that a lot of people had like mascots that represented them, and I didn't want to use like me myself IRL as like as like my mascot. I didn't want to do that. I felt very uncomfortable doing that. So I was kind of digging around, being like, okay, well, what could I use as like a mascot, even if it's temporary? What could I use?
Mm.
And the only thing I really had was some like my old cringy Sonic OCs from like high school. I had some like art from it,
Hmm.
and this character you see in front of you was one of my favorites. I really fell in love with her, and her name was Sam. And I was like, let me. I was thinking to myself, this is gonna be very cringe, but I have nothing else at the moment. Let me use Sam for about like a year, buy me more time to figure out what I want to do. So I quickly made some emotes, threw my Sam emotes out there, and 6 years later, I still haven't changed her out. Um, so here we are. So I'm still a Sonic OC.
What when the placeholder becomes the official?
Exactly. So it just kind of happened.
Oh, it's a really I really like the design. It's really cute. I really it's really cute, and like with
Thank
the
you.
over the and like the hair with the over the eye, the one I'd covered.
I think for a Sonic OC, I'm pretty unique without being over the top.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that I praise my younger self for, that I kept my design very simple because I've only changed Sam, I believe once or twice, but they were very small tweaks. But what you're looking at here was basically the base design anyway. The
Mm.
only thing different is my red and blue quills that I dye weren't dyed.
Hmm.
Um, but really I just picked a very simple design, just kept with it, and I'm very happy that I have a very simple design, and I'm very noticeable. Yeah, there's a lot of like yellow hedgehogs out there, but I'm still unique enough to people notice me, which is really nice.
Mm. Let's see. Okay, so then on. What is your biggest inspiration for what you do?
Ooh. Originally, my first inspiration was actually Markiplier.
Hmm.
when I first started, I was very loud. I would scream and I would be over the top of everything. But since I've been doing this for 6 years, I've really been kind of slowing down. And my inspiration has been more moving to like other VTubers and like different content creators. Even some of my friends like inspire me because I have some really close VTuber friends that I look at their streams and I'm like, man, I want to be as cool as them. And so like working to better myself and working on like bigger projects now and all this kind of stuff. It is so nice to be surrounded by people that I can look up to
Mm,
and for people to like push me to do better and do like bigger things. So at the moment, it's really at the moment I'm gonna say it's definitely some of my friends that I've surrounded myself with.
mm. Okay, which that may actually give me insight into this next question. But so what? But so we're gonna have to see because most of out of the people I've entered you, there are three have given the same response to this next question or the same general answer, and then there's been like my one outlier. So let's see if we're about to find out if
All right,
you're keeping the trend or if you're joining the outlier. Okay,
I'm ready.
no pressure. Um,
I'm scared.
so
Oh,
what have you enjoyed most about streaming?
ooh. Can I have multiple?
Yeah, sure, I'll give it to you.
Okay, okay. So because I guess I have a few. One of the things that I've really enjoyed most about VTubing is being able to connect with people like online, whether it's through like people in my community or other streamers. I would not have been able to meet the people I do now without streaming VTubing,
Hmm.
and I'm very thankful for the people I get to meet. So that's kind of like the big one. The second one is actually I would say the opportunities that it has given me, because I don't think I would be able to have the opportunities to like meet voice actors or do like events that I've been either have done or plan to do. Like I would not be able to do this stuff without the opportunities that like streaming has given me.
Hmm.
The third one would have to be it was on the tip of my tongue. Oh god. It was on the tip of my tongue. Oh, oh, a creative outlet. There we go.
Hmm.
For me, because I do most to every I want to say about like 85% of the artwork that is done on my channel is done by me. I am my own artist, and it's kind of my creative outlet where my art can go to my channel and I get to do what I want without having to go through another artist. So it has
Hmm.
been a great outlet for me to put my art to the test and to improve and to branch off of it. So I think those are like my top three. Which thank you for letting me have like three instead of like one. I hope that didn't that that put me in like the correct group.
I I think that made you the outlier. I guess. No, sure.
Did it?
Although,
Oh no!
uh, also because you kept on saying tip of the tongue or whatever, I had to like, oh, my new
No.
emote that's its like fits or whatever.
Oh,
The
it is. Oh my god, it is. I saw that you posted an emote, but I was so focused on making sure I knew what the frick I was talking about. I'm like, I can't look. I gotta
yeah, it's
focus,
fine.
Sammy.
Yeah, it's yeah. We got that one, and I got that one in just this past Thursday. So of a
I
licky
love
emote.
it so much. I'm also very curious how that made me the outlier. What
Okay,
was the correct answer?
so okay, so well, I mean, it's like since you did three answers, that means like I guess you gave a totally different thing. But the people answer is normal has been like most answers, so you're kind of halfway then. But then you give like two other answers, so
Yeah, I'll accept. Because my thing is, when it comes to like my favorite parts, there's been more than one. Because there's so many parts that like I really enjoy about
mm,
streaming, and I couldn't list one. I had to list multiple because there's just so much more than just like this is the one thing that I enjoy.
Mm. No, I totally get that. Yeah. Uh, and then okay. So then, next question would be, so what have you streamed that has the most psychological and or emotional impact on you?
Ooh. Um, Surprisingly, it would have to be Life is Strange.
Mm.
I Bessie, I'm not gonna lie, I like bawled my eyes out on stream, like snot, everything. It was awful. Like it made me question like life decisions, and I was all over the place.
Mm.
And I would really like to go back and replay the game now because it really just surprisingly it really opened my eyes. I never realized that a game could kind of not fully change my way of thinking, but have like a glimpse of like the butterfly effect and how like my choices actually freaking matter and kind of apply that to like IRL of like because one of the things that I try to live off by, which I've been struggling recently, is don't be an asshole.
Mm.
Don't be an asshole. And it that really applied in like Life is Strange of like trying to reach out, how important like reaching out and talking to someone is, and how important communication is. And I didn't fully realize that until like playing that game of like, yeah, this is a game, but it showcases how important communication can be and how people are on their own path and that's how messy life is.
Mm.
So definitely Life is Strange. Highly recommend if you haven't played. But yeah, Life is Strange.
Oh, that does right because you know, on the it's making you think of like the importance of like communication and stuff like that. So, and this honestly maybe goes to like um something that if I were to give like answer that question myself on the most psychological or emotional impact, where I think I'd probably have to so and oh my gosh, it took me forever, but so there's a visual novel series that that I streamed through called Higurashi When They Cry, and uh and I don't let's see, and it's one of those things you may have like seen like occasional like of like people like meme it or something like that, but
Mhm.
so because it would be um it's actually a horror series. When you first open it up or whatever, you're like, oh, look at these cute characters, and then it's like, and then you know, and there's this like fun and these goofy like you know like kids and young teens or whatever goofing off as friends and playing games and all this crazy and getting their crazy shenanigans, and then it's stuff happens. And it's 6 volumes of it, or well, technically 7, but that's which is sort of like extra whatever. But it is one of those in a weird way. It is kind of it does involve one of like the themes of like the story does involve like communication and trusting your friends. And that time, but it's one of those. Yeah, this story is literally about friendship and a whole bunch of murder, but about friendship.
Listen, friendship truly is magic. You're welcome.
It so I because of how long it took me to go through that, I don't necessarily know how much I would like recognize or recommend other people streaming it, but you know, if your community is doesn't mind going through a very lengthy visual novel stuff, you know, more power to you. But otherwise, it may be something you maybe just want to play off stream or whatever as a visual novel.
Yeah, I listen, I think if I sat down and streamed it, I think my community would kill me. They'd be like, "Bestie, no, stop, slap."
Well, I will say the first volume is free.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So whether you
So
want to whether you want to just play that on your own, or maybe force your chat to enjoy it, to suffer through it on the first for the first volume or whatever, you could totally do that.
bet. Oh my goodness. I know some of my community members are in here, so I can torture them.
Uh, that also leads out to one of my there's a long running gag or whatever where I gave one of like the characters, because it's kind of like in this rural Japanese town, and there's this one character that's like very much like tomboy or stuff like that. And it was kind of going, I don't know, what voice should I give her? She's in the country. Do you think maybe I should give her kind of like a country voice? Just basically like an which basically sounds like almost like an Applejack thing. So I just kind of, so I just kind of stuck with it. So this one character always had this, technically two characters because she's a twin, but so, which actually meant one volume I had to do, because it goes from one of the twins like viewpoints, which actually meant I had to do the whole volume in like an Applejack voice. So
no.
that's my channel's deep lore. In occasionally I'll bust out okay, I'm gonna do, and I'll refer to it as the Mion voice, or basically
So I have a question. Does that kill your like your throat, your vocal cords, or can you do it for like a really long time?
doing this voice, or
Yes.
or I'm like just plumb happy to meet you.
Oh God. Okay.
No.
Okay. No. Drop it. No.
Oh no, it don't.
No. Stop. Bestie.
No.
No.
I just have it really doesn't, because it's one of those things where I think it's because, listen, I grew up I'm Texas born and raised, so
Same.
basically it's just one of those, I just kind of bring I channel all the Texican I can muster, or Texanese I can muster, and use that. I just channel it.
Oh my god. Even though I was born and raised in Texas, I just never got that accent. And I think that's because like my parents were like they were born in different parts of the United States. So like moving to Texas, so we were like one of the few that didn't have that like Texas accent. So I never just grew up.
You didn't learn how to spank purdy?
No, I didn't. Even though I grew up more like kind of countryside, and there was a lot of people that would talk like that, I never really picked up that accent. I was always the odd one out.
I have a gentle accent. I kind of have, sort of like a mild thing, because I was really pretentious as a young child. I'm gonna be flat honest with you or whatever. So it's like I intentionally like didn't try to avoid or whatever, and like a lot of like, so like I ended up watching like a lot of older movies and stuff like that, and on those older movies you'll notice or whatever, it's like what a lot of the actors will use, they'll be using what's referred to as a transatlantic accent. If you've never heard that before, it's to describe this kind of manner of speech that it's not American or British. It basically is trying to do like, it kind of like softens off it tries to find kind of a middle ground between the two. So it doesn't sound like, ooh, indubitably, yes, it doesn't do any of that. But also it doesn't, it doesn't sound like you're, about to go to a speakeasy, see? Or, something like that. So it's this older adage of, it's kind of trying to sound highfalutin without any like major tip-offs of either British English or American English. So if you've ever wondered, why do old actors in old movies speak weird? It's because they were this thing, which as time went on, like about in like the 50s and everything, it like felt that tended to fall out of favor. So there's very like kind of few actors that have kind of a more of a subdued accent where it's a very like mild or stuff like that. But I kind of psychologically imprinted on that. So I I it's also led me to have a few like vocal tics or whatever. So like I'll say either instead of either or something like that.
Gotcha.
So the
Okay.
standard, so like, and little things like that. And yes, I am tempted to sometimes say advertisement instead of advertisement. There's like half of me that wants to say advertisement, and the other half it's like, stop being a pretentious little prick. You're born in Dallas, Texas, dang it.
So much. I get it. I understand.
Born in Dallas, Texas, and you can kind of understand Boomhauer. Stop.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
I tell you what.
I'll tell you something. Hold on.
Okay. So next question. So what has been one of the most memorable moments streaming?
Ooh. There's probably been a few. I know one was my VTuber debut. I was so excited, and the community was so excited with me, and very slowly, like, showing off the model and just seeing, like, everyone so excited. It, like, brought me to tears because I didn't think people would, like, care
Mm,
about me going from PNG to, like, VTuber because, like, I 'cause me seeing other people do like debut and making it such a big deal, I'm like, that's something that like you're getting, not and so I didn't quite understand until I did my own like debut how important it actually is. And chat was so supportive. And I think I ended that stream like I I think I went and, like, cried after stream because
mm,
I didn't realize, like, how important that was. I was just super excited that I could actually, like, move around and all that kinda stuff. I was super excited. So that was definitely, like, one of, like, the best moments. Another one was, like, for my birthday where it might not have been for my birthday, but I know we beat one of our big records for a hype train. Which I wanna say it was, like, less than level 15, it was, like, level 14 or something like that, or, like, 13, but, like, that meant so much to me.
mm,
I always feel bad, you know, I I like subs and bits and all that kinda stuff because, like, this is my main source of income, so having, like, bits and subs thrown at me is, like, really nice. I'm like, "Okay, so I'm gonna have, like, a, you know, some sort of paycheck this month." But seeing, like, those hype trains go off, especially reaching those high levels,
mm,
I'm like, "Dang!" And I start to get really worried because 'cause I'm like, I wanna make sure I'm not draining people's, bank accounts. But also, on the other hand, like, I'm so very grateful because I would not be able to do this without, like, my community. There's no way I would be able to do this without them.
mm.
So, I am very much at the mercy of my community when it comes, to my paychecks. So, I man, I love my community. But yeah, those are some of like the great moments that I get to have is my chat supporting me and allowing me to do things that I would normally not be able to do.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. It's that you please no one go into debt over me or something
yeah,
like that. But
I
I'm so very but I
exactly.
it's like I need this money, but also please don't go over.
Yeah,
Please don't just throw all your money at me, please.
yeah, like if like money is tight and all you can give me is $5, bestie, I will make it last. But like I have people throwing like a few $100s at me, and I'm like, in this economy, are you okay? So, because as so I know my community pretty well. So a lot of my regulars, I know what kind of financial situation they're in.
Mm.
And so when I see those people give out a few bits, that's why I try to react the same way to every person. I try my best. But when I see those people that I know are not in a very good financial situation, do give like 5 or 10 bits, like that means a lot because I'm like, you didn't have to do that. I am aware that like life is tough for you right now. So like those like 5 or 10 bits might like mean a lot to them because of their like situation, and I like cherish that, even though again it is only like 5 or 10 bits, so it's like a few cents, but that's a few cents that they could have used in that situation. And then I have some people that do have like a lot more money and that throw out like 5 gifted subs, and it's like, oh holy shit, thank you. So it's really nice that I get these opportunities to like see people and kind of like where they are in life, and have a better understanding of where people are, and, and just having a connection with people, and just
Mm.
like understanding we're all freaking human beings online. I know we're a little off topic, but I had to bring that up
It's
because
okay. It's okay.
that's one of the things that really frustrated me. Was again, we're going off topic a little bit. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, it's fine. Keep going.
I've taken off the conversation.
You go,
So
girl. It's fine.
thank you, bestie. So when I was reintroduced to Twitch, I would really only hang out with like the really big streamers, and I would give out, like I would sub to the person, and all I would get was a like a quick thanks, and then move on. And at the time, I, I was probably in a little bit worse situation when it came to like money,
Mm.
so that $5 meant a lot, and to only get just a brief like like no like just like a quick like oh thanks, and then like move on like it didn't matter.
Mm.
Like I'm aware that this is their paycheck and they get subs all the freaking time, but it really just kind of hurt my feelings because I'm like like $5 I had to like work my ass off for that $5.
Mm.
And I finally got fed up, and I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna go sub to someone, I'm gonna go sub to a smaller streamer, because at least they're gonna be grateful for my $5 I have to work my ass off for.
Mm.
And that's what got me into the community that I used to be a part of, that led me into streaming, because I wanted to go give my $5 to someone else who was actually going to be grateful for it. And that's why usually when like someone like gives a sub or bits, I tried to make it more of a bigger deal of like, and actually at least like spend time. That's why I have a whole thing when someone subs. I'm like, hey, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome back to the chains. Like I make it kind of like big and like dramatic, because
Mm.
I again, like if it's someone I don't know super well and I don't know their financial situation, I don't know if that $5 is something that they had to work their ass off for, or if it's just $5 that's just sitting in a bank account with like thousands of dollars. I don't know. So being able to you know at least take a few seconds to really thank someone for that. It's not $5 anymore, it's like 6 or 7,
Yeah.
but like to thank them for like those bits and subs, that's really important to me. So that's because I don't know if people like come in and be like, why are you making like such a big deal, like have like a whole big speech about a sub. And really it just comes down to that, because I just got sick and tired of like being passed up for like that $5. It's like, really. So that was my rant.
Mm.
You're welcome.
No, it's because I especially with some for some folks that could be just mean. Well, I decided to skip out on my. I decided to just skip I didn't have my daily frappuccino that today. I decided to skip that. So here's the sub,
Yeah.
or it could be someone that's like, I'm having just I'm having ramen tonight. So instead of like decent meal or whatever, I'm having ramen tonight to give you this $5. It could be one of those, you know, of that type of level of difference. So, it's always like tricky or whatever. I I hope it comes across, because sometimes I'm not the best at being at like demonstrating, like at being able to demonstrate like my emotions and like kind of, like that, like I'm genuinely like thankful or stuff like that. I'm not the best at that. So but I try my best to like sure like people, I'm very thankful when people like actual like sub or bits or stuff like that. So I hope that comes across to folks. I'm just, unfortunately, I'm not the best at being conveying like emotion sometimes or whatever. So, but
I think it does because me and you we're gonna have different ways to like show how grateful we are. So me being like over the top is probably not gonna be like your style to showcase, how grateful you are. You're gonna showcase it in a different way, and that's completely fine.
mm, yeah. So okay. So
Yeah.
next.
So thank you for letting me take off with the conversation.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, this is your interview. So if you wanna go on a little thing, that's perfectly fine.
Thank you.
It just means I have more content to upload to YouTube. So hey,
That's true. You could take my rants and be like, yeah, the stream has like
yeah, I
weird
can profit
opinions.
off of this.
Oh, money.
uh, uh, let's see. Uh, where was my place on this stuff? All right. So, what has been some of your favorite collaborative events?
Ooh. Well, one was just recently. Uh,
I was
doing
about. I was wondering about.
yeah. So like that, I'll probably talk about another one, but being even though I didn't stream it, like still being a part of it, being on Geronimo Kiddo stream for the Starlight charity event, and getting the opportunity to interview Nick, the voice actor of Leon for Resident Evil 2 and 4 remake. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It was nice to meet him. I was a little worried because yeah, he's very professional and I'm just a goofball.
Mm.
So I was just a bundle of nerves, but it was still I was honored to meet him. He's such a cool dude. Um Another one I would say would have to be mm, I mean now it doesn't really mean a lot, but back then, when I mean back then, I mean like a little over like a year ago, I didn't know there were other Sonic OC VTubers,
Hmm.
and that's mainly because I never went looking for them, and I just didn't really I don't want to say I didn't care. It wasn't my priority and it didn't really bother me. But I had a group of like Sonic OCV tubers jump into my chat and talk about how there's a whole group of them. And I was like, "Holy frick, that's so cool." And being kind of invited to go hang out with them, and I remember like my first few collabs with them. It was kind of nice to be surrounded with other like Sonic OCV tubers because I just not thinking I was the only one, but I was the only one that I really knew,
Mm.
and so just having other people to connect with that are also Sonic OC, like VTubers, was also really nice. So that was also like another like cool like collaboration I got to do was with like a whole bunch of other Sonic OC like VTubers that now I'm really close friends with some of them. So
Yeah.
those are the two.
Do you know Glitch Kitten?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering because they immediately came to mind with the Sonic or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, they were
So
actually my second guest on this program. So first it was Geronimo and then Glitch. So you'll
yeah.
be in good company.
So funny enough, we're planning on trying like we're trying to. So it's most likely going to be like after Christmas. But we've never done a
And the
collab
crowd goes
one-on-one
wild.
before. But we've collabed before. It was just with like two other people, so there's four of us. So I'm very excited that I get to
Mm.
hopefully grab her in the future and just be me and her, one of my besties, doing some scary game together. So I'm
Oh
super
yeah,
excited for that in the future. So
yeah. Oh, and welcome in, Bubble Fairy. Welcome, welcome. Uh, okay. And I was checking on. Yeah, we are at currently 597 for the thing. So we are 3 followers away from. If after this interview is done, if folks wanted to make me read Sonic High School, then that would be. Yeah. So there's still
I'm
time.
so excited. I'm
But
so excited. Like even if like we don't get you that goal tonight, like you're still again 3 followers away.
yeah,
So it could be next stream.
yeah, it really could be. Uh, so I'm actually doing another episode of Spilling the Tea tomorrow night with Nyanberry. So
Ooh.
so who knows? Maybe at the end of that, I'll be anything to do it. Which I plan on, making sure I record my reading of that as well, and then uploading it to the YouTube. So, you know,
Yeah.
either way, it'll be recorded for posterity to um for people to peruse. And can be used at my in my future Hague trial. Um,
Oh, wow. Okay.
uh, see I'm just saying when RimWorld when things you don't do in the RimWorld game are able to be used against you, I'm in trouble.
Oh no.
Uh, let's see. Uh, okay. Next question. What are some short-term streaming goals that you have?
Ooh. Um. If there's one, maybe two. So one is I'm trying. So at the end of 2025, I would like to be past 4K followers on
Mm,
Twitch. The other one is I'm aiming for again the short term. Um, I don't think this is going to be possible, but I would like to get to 100 sub points. Like not like so like every month you get like so many like sub points. I'm
mm-hmm,
hoping to reach 100 at least once, hopefully
mm,
by the end of 2025. But that that one is very much a stretch. So that's kind of like a, you know, if we could, that'd be great. If not, I won't be butthurt. So it's more the like the 4K followers I'm really focused on.
mm.
So, and then I do have another goal that doesn't have to involve Twitch, but it's for YouTube. I'm hoping to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube towards the end of 2025. So that's
Mm.
also a third goal that doesn't have to involve Twitch, but I'm also throwing that out there. So those are kind of my three kind of short goals, at least at the moment.
Okay, and then next, what about more long-term streaming goals?
I would like to be partnered on Twitch, as most streamers do. So that is kind of the big goal. Another big goal is I want to run bigger events and maybe host some charity events. Um, but those are they could be considered shorter goals, but the thing is I want a lot of these events to be like every year and every year doing it a little bit bigger and better. So those are kind of like my big goals that I really want to work on. So definitely the start during 2025 and 2026, definitely working on those projects and figuring out how I can improve off of these events that I really want to do.
Hmm. Okay.
So
And the next question, and we are running low. We are in a question. So if you happen to have any questions for Sam, please put those in chat so that way I can see them and make sure they're asked. Because I'm running out of the questions that I have written down. So so uh, if you could collab with one famous streamer, who would you pick?
ooh,
And they don't,
that's a great
and they could be just a streamer. They don't have to be a VTuber or anything like that. So just
um,
a streamer in general.
I there's one again to like no surprise. I would love to be able to do like a collab with like Iron Mouse and to just kind of hang out with her and do some like games. Um, Probably another would be like Shy Lily, but I'm worried that our personalities would not click very well. But I would still really like to meet her and just kind of talk to her and pick her brain about a few things.
Mm.
So those are kind of like the top two. I would really like to like sit and talk. So whether they're like collabs about like us gaming or again like a sit down like talk show where I can like pick their brain about stuff. I would really like to talk to them too. That would be really freaking cool.
Uh, okay, Pole Fairy is asking if we get Virgil to his goal, will Sam be reading with him?
No, but no, that's
I can let you read his tales.
no, no. My dyslexic brain's gonna go off, and I'm not gonna be able to read very well.
Uh, uh, can I tempt you with Knuckles? Is part.
No, Bessie, listen, listen. This is your goal. I want to watch you suffer.
I tried Bubble Fairy. I tried. Um,
Tried.
okay. And my last question and it would be, what advice would you give to people considering streaming or VTubing?
Ooh, I have a big rant about this because surprisingly people don't know, but I like to do research on streaming. Not saying my research has done me any favors, um, but I do have a lot of opinions and a lot of stuff that I've analyzed or seen or tested. One of the biggest things is definitely do your research, whether it's like programs to like softwares to assets to VTube models. Definitely do your research. When it comes to streaming is nothing but just throwing something at the wall and seeing if it sticks. So, because there's so much about streaming. When when you get into streaming, you need to figure out what you want to do. And what I mean by that is what kind of audience do you want to have? Do you want to be more family friendly? Do you want to be more 18 plus? D- do you like what kind of games do you want to focus on? Like, do you want to be more cozy? Do you want to be like more horror? Um, there's just so much that goes into streaming. And one of the things to bring up Bats and Banter, which just in case if people are watching this and don't know Bats and Banter is basically another interview where they bring on smaller VTubers that are like hidden gems that don't get a lot of attention and ask them the questions in interview. And a lot of them brought up that like, you know, stream what you want to stream, you know, to a degree, yes, but there's always a if you just stream what you want to stream all the time without considering what your viewers want to see, you're not going to see growth. So it's very much a balancing act of
Mm.
games that you enjoy playing, but also a balancing act of games that chat wants to see. So finding that middle ground. So let's say I'm a huge fan of Dead by Daylight and I play a whole bunch of it. My chat, again, this is actually an example. My chat is kind of sick and tired of Dead by Daylight, even though I adore Dead by Daylight. It's one of my favorite games. Sadly, it's not a very good game to grow in, and it's very hard. It's very competitive, and my community's just kind of sick and tired of it,
Hmm.
which means I am kind of retiring Dead by Daylight from my channel, but that doesn't mean I don't get to play it. I get to play DVD. I just play it offline. So I am now having to find games that my community enjoys watching and I enjoy playing, which has kind of been leading down the path of like more indie style horror games, which has been a lot of fun. But also, you got to do your research on what you're going to enjoy and what your community is going to enjoy.
Hmm.
That is very important. Another important thing is paying attention of how many new people are finding your channel. So let's say you go play again. I'm just gonna throw an example out there, like Mario 64, and maybe like one or new people, kind of came in. It's like, okay, maybe that's not a category you should spend a lot of time in because you're not going to grab a lot of attention. So finding categories where you possibly could grab someone's attention is probably going to be your best bet. Another thing, if I could add, again, I
No,
like
it's
to do my
fine.
research. Another thing is networking. The thing is, when people talk about networking, people have no idea what you're talking about, which I completely understand. Because even with me networking, just saying, "Oh yeah, you got to network more." The frick you mean by networking? So, what I want you to do is to get involved with different communities. That's basically networking. Go make friends with other streamers. Not like show up into like people's chat, be like, "Hey, I'm a streamer. Let's be friends." No, there's like strats to this. Okay, go spend some time on Twitch and go find people. When I mean people like streamers, go find streamers that you really like their personality or their content, and you're like, hey, I think I could possibly be like friends with this person, and try your best to be active in chat. I don't mean like talking to them the entire stream. You do not have to, like, no, but like trying to catch as much streams as you can. Just pop in, have a short conversation, and then kind of peace out. And then when you can try to raid into this person to like showcase that, hey, yeah, I'm a streamer, and try and grow those connections. Because I realized in this career, as well as so many other careers, is that who you know matters. Having those connections with other streamers and other communities is very important. So, I'm not saying to go out and go befriend, like, really big streamers because you wanna, like, piggyback off of them. No, it's not what I mean. Go find actual streamers that, you actually want to be friends with, and go make those connections, and go make those friendships, and because again, I have made so many, like, connections and friendships that randomly just opened doors for me to the point where this model that I have, I didn't pay for. It was completely free. And that was because I had to go through so many different friends to end up in this situation where I end up being friends with someone who was trying to start a Twitch group, and they were making models for free for like this group that was going on. Even though the project flopped, um, I I was able to get like this model for free. I'm actually in the process of rebranding, and I'm going back to the same artist who did my model, and I'm actually gonna pay him this time
Mhm.
because he did such a fantastic job. And I'm so excited because I'm like, I can't go to anyone else but this person. So
Yeah, I'm
like
spoiled. I can't go to anyone
yeah,
else now.
I can't. I'm so but yeah, I hope you know that I'm gonna give him a really like fat tip. I really am. So, but connections
Insert
matter.
joke. I'm gonna.
No, don't you dare. Don't you I will walk out. I will walk out of here. Don't think I won't. But no, connections are extremely important. And connections aren't something that just happens overnight. Connections are things that you work for. So it's stuff that's going to be happening over like months. So
Mm,
those are kind of like the pointers that people seem to forget or miss or aren't very or talked about a whole lot that I wish more people would bring up because there's so much more to like streaming. A lot of people a lot of people think streaming is like a luck thing,
mm-hmm.
which it is to a point. But there's things that you can do to minimize the luck percent of it. And some of the things that I brought up are kind of things that can minimize that, luck chance of possibly, growing or, randomly blowing up overnight.
Yeah. Let's see. I was trying to maybe like when you were talking about like as far as networking with other, streamers and like getting involved in their community, as far as picking people to maybe put it in to it another to phrase it a little bit differently. Would you say maybe it's
Yes.
that you know way of thinking is maybe you're trying to find people that if like I would, you know, I could like make a like kind of basically it's like I could see myself partnering with this person, with this other streamer or
Yes.
whatever. It's using it like that, you're not riding off like their coattails, so
Yeah,
you're
'cause
not you're not being
yeah, you do
parasitic.
not want
You're
yeah,
being you no, it's more like a business partner if you want to say it like that, where it's like you're both,
absolutely.
you know, it's the more of trying to equal benefit each other as opposed to, you're just trying to latch on like a leech to someone.
That's because that's one of the reasons why sometimes I get so scared of talking about these topics, and that's why I'm like, hey, like, don't be friends. Like, try to be friend with someone because you want to like, ride their coattail. It's like, no, like, actually make the connection
Yeah.
because you actually want to be friends with them.
Can I
And
partner with this
yeah,
person or whatever is a
yeah,
way of
yeah,
putting it.
yes. So absolutely, I had like another thing that also people don't talk about, but it just totally like whooshed over my head. I'm like, wait a second. Because yeah, I love to talk about this kind of stuff because some people get really scared of like touching these topics because it can be scary and deep dive into stuff that people don't want to talk about. But like, someone's gonna talk about it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm very much enjoying this. So I've been snoozing ads off for the past 15 minutes.
oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I've enjoyed that. I was kind of like seeing if it was so I if you don't mind staying on longer because I'm really enjoying this conversation. So if you don't mind if you don't mind us going like maybe a bit longer than we would because I don't know how you're if you so we could just take an ad break and then we can like pick up right back. I see your question, Bull Fairy, and of course if anyone has any other questions, feel free to put those in. So we'll go on just a 3-minute ad break. I've run out of snooze options. I've been
That is completely
if
fine.
I could squeeze another 10 minutes, another 15 minutes out of a Twitch, we would probably not have to worry about. But the ad gods are demanding their sacrifice of 3 minutes. So we'll be right back. We'll have some nice Christmas music on. So see y'all in just a few shakes of a hedgehog's tail or something.
Oh yeah.
All right, welcome back. Welcome. Thank you very much. So we'll jump off. Okay. Well, nice. Let's see. I think. Let's see. So I don't forget. We'll go back to. We'll read Bubble Fairy's question because they were
Yes,
asking, and then we can hop back into what you were saying. If that sounds like if that sounds like it would work to you. Um,
absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. So would you say that it's not about competing with others and their growth, but more that this is a whole rising tides raise everyone kind of deal when it comes to networking?
Yes, because originally I had a very like negative outlook for a very short amount of time, where it's like I'm against everyone, and I ran with that for a very short amount of time because that's kind of what it felt like. It felt like I was competing against people, which as a streamer you kind of are,
Mm,
at least when it comes to viewership. You're really like fighting over kind of viewership, but the thing is, you are so much stronger as like a group, and I think that's one of the reasons why, one of the reasons why I say, find your group that you connect with, that you can bounce off of, because that is so important. Because I like when it comes to streaming, like working as a team is so much more important than trying to fight the battle alone.
mm,
Having that group of people to raid into you or help you with like events, even if like some of these people don't stream, like my mods help me so much and like promoting me and like other like channels and all that kind of stuff. But having people help you in some form is like stress off of your shoulder, because even like the tiny bit helps. So very much agree. It's not seeing each other as competition, but seeing each other as like, what can I do to help you?
mm. Okay, and then let's see. So I guess far as when we had to like, if you were doing what you're saying before, we had to pause for the ad break.
Yeah, so there's another thing that I really wanted to bring up. Um, because there was a question of like, one of my question is like, what are more ways to grow on Twitch? And another thing that people don't talk about is not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Mm,
So yeah, you can stream on Twitch, but I highly recommend also dipping your toe into like YouTube. TikTok is kind of iffy with the things going on with TikTok, but like Twitter, Instagram, kind of branching out and trying to grow other communities on different websites. And it kind of, some of those people will start funneling into like your streams or funneling into your YouTube videos. And over time, again, this might be like years in the making instead of just like a few weeks to a few months, but you'll start growing communities on different platforms. And then you're not worried about, just making money off of Twitch. You start making money off of like YouTube. And it's a very slow and long grind.
mm.
Trust me, it is a lot because I'm in the grind now. Because it took me long enough to realize that I was putting all my eggs into one basket, that now I'm so behind on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Like I have a pretty big following on Twitch, which right now with it being the holidays are really hard for me because I lose a lot of my viewership because everyone's on holiday. So I'm really struggling with that right now.
Mm,
But I have been putting all my eggs in one basket to the point where like I'm scraping by and trying to like branch out into like YouTube. So I'm getting more active on like YouTube, on like TikTok and Twitter and all this kind of stuff, trying to play catch up. So that's why I want to quickly throw that out to other people. I highly recommend, also trying out YouTube and other platforms instead of just putting all your eggs in
mm.
one basket, because for example, your YouTube might take off, but your Twitch might not. there you go. Start feeding more of your content and into YouTube, but still kind of spend some time on Twitch and see if like Twitch also takes off too. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Please branch out because I was dumb and didn't do that until like a year ago. So
Mm,
I'm playing catch up.
yeah, and yeah. So like, so so like I have an example that comes to me is, or so like it's like because Twitch had changed the rules on it. So like if folks want to like, if you want to like multi-stream like to YouTube or specifically other sites that have like a similar Twitch layout as they will, or whatever, we can multi-stream to that now as far as the way the rules are. There was a period of time where that wasn't the case, and you could multi-stream to places like Twitter, but if it was something like that wasn't a direct competitor, so like to YouTube, then that's where the issue was. But nowadays we can take advantage of that. So if you don't mind setting up the thing, it's one of those things. It's kind of like, hey, there's another potential audience for that. And I know, like one of the things that I've been trying to do is that the short form content is like I know there's like it's it's crazy how people like kind of blow up over just being able to share things through the short form content. I know like Pirate
Absolutely.
Software is like an example of someone that's just like he figured out if I upload clips and put them on short form content, they that's it'll direct people to my other content. And it's kind of he ended up having the conversation like with his like accountant. It's like, what are you doing? My grandkids know who you are, type of thing. So that's what gonna have to everyone. But that short form content, especially like with how it works on like YouTube, for it's one of those things that that's really helpful. Which is why it's like if so clips are really things that it's like are if whether it's me or Sam or someone else, you know, those clips are clipping is a great way to support streamers that so if it's like if you don't have money or whatever but you want to show your support, you know um uh making clips is a phenomenal way to show your support for folks, because that helps us, because I'm I'm not that good at picking out clips or whatever, or I may think of during stream, hey, maybe I should clip that moment. So I try to take a mental note of, okay, about how long was it in stream, and of course then I forget where it was.
Yep.
So then going through like the VOD of, where did this happen? Where was that stupid your mother joke that I said?
Where
Where
was that?
was
And
it?
then you have to sit through your entire stream to go find it, and you're like, Which actually brings up another good point. If you are just starting out, watch your VODs. And I don't mean sit there and watch your entire VOD. No, no, you don't have to. Because, like, you're going to be there and be like, oh, this is so cringe.
Hmm.
Basically, especially if you're just starting out, I highly recommend going and watching, like, bits and pieces of your VOD. And what you're looking for is what you can improve on. So how is your audio? Is like are you louder than the game? Is the game overtaking like your audio? Is there a certain amount of times where you're just sitting there just super quiet for a really long time? Are you going like are you not paying attention to your chat? Sorry, are people coming in saying hi and then you don't see them till like 5 minutes later?
Hmm.
Like there's always something to improve off of. So, not saying you have to sit there and watch your entire frickin' VOD, but, like, I do that sometimes as well, where I will go back through my VOD, and I'll watch, like, a few minutes of it in certain spots and be like, "Okay, maybe I wasn't paying a lot of attention with chat. Maybe I coulda handled this better." It's like, "Oh, I need to adjust, like, that alert. That alert is maybe, like, a little too loud." There's always something that you can improve.
Yeah.
Always something that you can approve.
It's like, pick like a section of like midstream or whatever of like a span of like 10 minutes and be like, okay. And so you can examine the parts of like, hey, did I get everything? And then like, is all my volume stuff sound okay? Or, yes, Popcat, hello.
Stop
There,
craving attention. Stop it.
you see your attention. Uh, you know,
Gotcha.
am I maintaining active as far as like with what's going on, or am I just like zoning out and disassociating and being quiet for long periods of time?
Oh my goodness. Cause yeah, it's so funny. A lot of the people, a lot of people. Oh my goodness, there are some streamers I talk to who like just start streaming, and they're like, one of the hardest things is talking to myself, because when you start out, usually you don't have, a lot of people in chat, and so it very much becomes the game of I'm gonna go talk to myself. One of the suggestions I can give is to talk about the game. So what's going on? And if you're like, well, I can't really talk about the game, maybe maybe find like a new game or something like that that you can pull out that you've never been through before,
Hmm.
and that maybe spark conversation of like, like again, like a horror game where you get jump scared and you're like, oh man, I didn't expect that. That was so scary. Like, and just start conversation there and just to talk about the game. That's
Hmm.
always something that I like to do when I have nothing to talk about, because the brain go burr and it's been a long day. I'm gonna sit and talk about the game, especially when it's Dead by Daylight. I'm like, oh, it's a Leatherface coming at me. Hi, your chainsaw's so cool. Please chainsaw me. I mean, wait. Oh no, not the chainsaw. Oh no, I tripped. Oh, I fell down. Oh, please be gentle with. Anyway,
Do I need to bring out the picture of from the bookstore of
no,
"Let Me Hear Me Out" again?
no, 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 no. Listen, you can keep that away. No, we don't need to see that again. That is okay, staying in the depths of hell of where it came from.
Hmm.
Anyway, I would like to not be called out.
Uh, let's see. Okay, so I there was a question that made kind of you know sort of shop question, if you will, or whatever, that I was curious. So
Yeah.
because sometimes, so like I'll do some games that would be considered retro, um, and I try not to think about those are games that I played in high school that are now considered retro.
Bestie, I
Um,
feel. Bestie, please.
um, no, er, no. Final Fantasy X is not retro. It's Final Fantasy VII, which is retro. Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh,
Oh.
um, but but in that thing, so because there's so when you're like, because you have your different categories that you select when you're going through uh uh the things, picking of like, okay, here's I'm streaming. So the question, how would you decide if you're playing a game that would fall under the retro category, if you should use that game's actual title, like Final Fantasy
Ooh.
X, we'll use that example, or should I say retro, as far as in terms of, because especially if you were, say, doing a game that would be retro, but is kind of maybe a niche or obscure game, or like maybe not necessarily obscure, but because of it's an older one, people probably don't, not as many people know it, or it may be one of those situations where someone, if they saw me playing it, they might go, "Oh yeah, I remember that game was kind of a thing," but otherwise it's completely out of their heads or whatever. They're not necessarily going to look for it. Is it easier to go for those specific categories, or is it better to go for just the retro category itself?
So funny enough, we were actually, me and another friend were having this conversation literally days ago. And the easiest way I can tell you is to go to the category and see how active it is.
Mm.
If there is no one, or like maybe like 5 people streaming on that category, I would just move over to retro
Mm,
because you are more likely going to be found uh in retro than you are in the category, especially if like no one's streaming to it and the people that are streaming to it maybe have like less than like 20 viewers.
mm.
I would just go hang out in retro. It's not worth it
Okay.
because when it comes to retro, someone could just be scrolling by and then see you playing that game being like, "Oh crap, I haven't seen that game in forever." And then they'll click on your stream and then end up hanging out with you. So
Mm,
you really want to pay attention and just see how active that category is before deciding if you want to go stream under the retro category or the actual like games category. So,
mm.
but yeah, that is the quickest way I can say for to ease your mind of what you want to stream under is how active that category is.
Yeah, that makes sense. And because yeah, there's a lot of games that it's gonna be like, yeah, no one heard of this one. It may be a cool game that just went completely under the radar, and that people would be interested in like seeing it, but they don't know the title of it, so they're not specifically gonna go look for it. But if they see it
Yep.
under retro, they'd be like, that looks like a weird game.
Or like,
What's all
"Oh,
this about?
I recognize that game. Let me click and check it out."
I saw this thing from a meme once, I think. We'll go see this, uh uh let's see. Okay, fair as a question. I have a two-part question. How do you feel about Okami, and you're excited about Okami 2 being announced?
Oh, is this a question for me?
Yes.
Or okay. Um, I never finished the first game, so I surprisingly enough, like I enjoyed it on the Wii, but I never again, growing up, I was never super into games. So that's one of the many games I have never finished. But I am excited for the second one. I would like to play it, but I'm most likely going to be playing it in my own time, mainly because I'm more of a horror streamer and I don't think this would do well like on my channel,
Mm,
but I do want to play it. So it might be one of those games where I buy to play on my own. But
mm.
yes, I'm excited. I want to play it.
Yeah.
It might not be a good streaming game for me, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because
Uh,
that yeah.
I'm curious or whatever as far as, because it's a game that I guess would be considered horror, or it definitely has horror sections, but
Kind
if,
of.
if, have you ever played the game Death Stranding?
Yes. Oh my god.
AKA Norman Reedus and the Amazing Fetus?
Oh, okay. So the reason why I have such a weird reaction to that because there's I guess if you want to call it an inside joke with me and my community.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a viewer in my community named Harmage, but we just call him Harm. Harm is like obsessed with Death Stranding, and I've played Death Stranding before, but I never finished it because I got sick and tired of it and I got annoyed with it and I never finished it. But he's so obsessed, and so I'm like, man, I really like. I'll be like asking community like, oh, what game should I play next? And he'll come out of nowhere and be like, Death Stranding's not on that list. I'm like, fucking Harm. Harm, who freaking asked you? And so like, he will try his best to like wiggle in Death Stranding into the conversation, and I'm going to strangle this man. I am so upset. So you bring up Death Stranding, I'm like fucking Harm. He put you up to this. I know he did. Fucking hell.
No, I'm
I'm
thinking
gonna fight
I
someone.
think it's just a kindred spirit apparently. Cause I
You
love
know,
that. I love Death Stranding.
do you? I
It's
I think I
it's not for everyone. I will say that it is.
it's not.
It's you're either gonna be you're it is one of those titles that it's like you are either gonna be like okay and probably gonna like you're either gonna be like this or like think this is the dumbest thing ever.
So I went in not realizing that uh, again, this might be a complete insult to your game, but basically like a package, delivery simulator. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
realize.
accurate.
Yeah, so I didn't. I wasn't aware that that's how the game was going to be. So imagine my surprise getting in and just doing that over and over. I eventually got really tired of it, and what Harm has told me is I was so close to actually getting into like the really like the beef of the story, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I couldn't do it. So it was definitely not my cup of tea, sadly. But I do understand why people are, like, really enjoyed it, and it has to do like with like the story. I've only seen bits and pieces of the story, and I don't understand the story because I haven't seen all of it.
It's a Hideo Kojima game. It is the most Hideo Kojima of Hideo Kojima games. Okay, until Death Stranding 2 comes out this coming year, and then it'll have some competition. But
Oh yeah.
it's the way, and I think maybe part of that is it's the type of game where it's very chill until it isn't.
Mhm.
Until you get to the horror section where the BT show up, and then your blood pressure just spikes up. Um, uh,
Yep.
but um, uh, especially the ones that when you finally get weapons, there are certain ones that you can't actually take out. Those are especially fun. Um, but for most of it, it's it's a game where it's your major enemy is the terrain itself, and you're competing against that, and you're either able to kind of get in that mindset and you can appreciate that and like find the thing and like, yeah, I'm gonna deliver this package, it's gonna be in perfect condition, and I'm gonna get
No.
it within this time frame,
No.
and
No.
I'm gonna transport the hell out of these rocks, man. I will climb this mountain and it will be over, and I will get this random junk to that person, that weird guy in that one
One
other place.
one of the packages is like you delivering a pizza, and I think that's one of the last missions I did was like the pizza delivery.
Oh yeah, I
'Cause
remember that one.
I remember so just oh, I was like, okay, like I
You
said,
stacked it on its side, didn't you?
I don't remember, but I remember I was like playfully upset because I'm like, I guess I'm a pizza delivery man now. And we just went with that bit, and that's one of like the things that I remember about Death Stranding. I was so upset. I'm like, I'm not delivering a pizza.
Yeah, you're delivering a pizza, and also you probably did put it on its side. You're supposed to keep those
Uh,
flat, specifically. You're the type of
no.
person that when you get those, like, what is it, the little bug things, you were like, went underwater, which you're supposed to not submerge that.
You know what? I'm gonna submerge it because frick you. You make me deliver it? No,
Death Stranding is just an Amazon delivery in the future. Yes,
it is.
that is exactly. It's not inaccurate. It's like you're either. So it's one of those. You're either okay with the. So it's the thing I always think about. It's like if you're okay with something along the lines of like, Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, where the gameplay loop, the main gameplay loop is not about combat or anything of that, or anything like that. There's combat elements in it in Stardew, same thing kind of Death Stranding. But the main thing is this gameplay loop of non-combat activities. If you're okay with that concept, there's a chance you might like Death Stranding. If that immediately turns you off, you're not gonna like Death Stranding.
Yeah,
So
I think that's where I really struggled.
yeah. So that's kind of one of those things where it's uh uh so that's one thing or whatever. But so if you like that idea and of just like you're just doing this non-combat stuff most of the time, and most of the time you're competing against this terrain and going through this scenery, which is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I'm sure that's probably one of the things that you were being frustrated delivering pizza. You probably were at least like, that mountain range is pretty. I will say that. You know.
Yep. I remember I looked at one of them and I'm like, do you think I would survive if I fell off that? That was my thought process.
Yeah.
No, no, listen, we would be terrible at a car ride because you'd be like, man, that's so pretty. And I'd be like, do you think I would die if I fell off?
Don't.
Oh, I probably would. I would see it and be like, oh, well, there I go.
So in other words, you're saying is like whenever we meet in person later on this year, that make sure that you will not be picking me up from the bus station. That is what you're saying. That make sure you're not the one driving the car.
Absolutely. Hey, oh, watch this. And crash the car. Oh yeah, because chat doesn't know that we're gonna be seeing each other
Yeah.
IRL.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a sleepover without you guys.
Let's see. Okay, we had another question for both of you. How do you feel about the Fatal Frame series?
I know little to nothing about it, sadly.
That would be an interesting because it's a Japanese horror series that is
Gotcha.
really, it is quite scary or whatever, and you fight the ghosts and stuff by taking pictures of them. So
Why does that sound so familiar?
so like you're like, oh, it's a ghost. Okay, to fight and survive this situation, let me go into first person mode, looking straight on at this ghost with my camera and wait for it to hit at just the right time, so I can actually take out the ghost health or whatever. You have to
I think
time
I've
it.
seen someone play it, but I've never played it.
Yeah, a couple years ago, the Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, I streamed that one, and because that came out on the PlayStation 2. um there's been some releases of some other stuff, but if you want to do it, it is a neat game series. So if you want to do something horror that was, especially that was more of a Japanese style of horror, like ghosts and stuff like that, that would be potentially a cool series to bring up to your community. That, hey, would you like me to play this thing with Japanese ghosts, that to defeat them I have to take pictures of them?
Gotcha. Also, Pyro, you were not invited. I don't care how much you love sleepovers. You're not invited, bestie. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Straight. Did I have any other questions? And let's see, because I may be out or I'm not thinking of it at the moment. So if anyone else, if you happen to have any questions, and if you had any other following comments up that you had, feel free to do those. So uh
Oh no, no, cry! I'm so sorry. No, no, cry! No.
how can this happen to me? I made some mistakes.
But no, I'm trying to think. Because honestly, I would love to do a series where I sit and talk about streaming tips,
Mm,
but I don't have them written out. I don't have a whole PowerPoint presentation ready because I was like, ah, it's fine, whatever. I'll just think of it on the fly. Because I like to sit and talk about research or talk about research. I like to research streaming stuff, which I know a lot of people can be scared, can get scared talking about it because they don't want to be taken out of context or
mm.
all this kind of stuff, kind of like what we were discussing. But someone's gotta talk about it because
Yeah.
it's I don't re I don't like to gatekeep. So usually my rule is a lot of the stuff that I have on my stream, if I'm streaming, I do gatekeep, but off stream, I'm an open book. So if you'd if you want to slide into my DMs and be like, "Hey, how did you do this? What program do you use for this?" The bestie, I will send you links and like videos, and I will help you like get set up. Like I got you. I just don't like I like to gatekeep on stream because I don't want to stop and break the magic and all this kind of stuff and just ruin the flow.
Mm,
So, I know some people that might leave, like, a bad taste in their mouth, but I'm like, I'm all gatekeeping on a stream, like, don't be afraid to message me, like, I don't bite hard.
mm. Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's see. You could ask people on Twitter/Blue Sky what questions they may have about it. May help to slap stuff together.
that's true. That's true. Pyro, calm down. Bestie, breathe. Bestie, it's okay. Calm down.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff there where it's kind of like somebody used to say it like that may not necessarily be like the most fun thing to hear, but so for like one thing that I'm thinking of example is so if you're wanting to take like streaming seriously and like especially if it's not just a hobby and you want to make it like things, one of the things you're eventually going to want is deal like with sponsorships and stuff like that because that's a big source of income. And so one of the things you have to remember is so your social media accounts, your like Twitter, your Blue Sky, whatever, those are those need to be your business accounts. So
Yes.
if you have, which means there's going to be certain things that when you go to like a company and when you're like looking to go into a sponsorship, that if they know you're posting about certain things or whatever, it's probably going to turn them off on maybe wanting to like, because corporate brands, they are very want to be very. They're very, there's a few examples, but they tend to want people to be like have really non-spicy takes on stuff. So,
Yeah.
maybe if you want to like post like maybe political type stuff on or really racy stuff,
I would make
on
another account for that.
make a personal account that you're using and then can keep that separate from your streaming business account. You can share goofy memes or stuffing like that, but you know the really spicy stuff of whatever flavor of spice, you know maybe don't use that on your basically your business account. So you can
Yes.
still do a lot of neat stuff, but just think about before you post, is this something that when I approach to like a company about like, hey, can I get this sponsorship? If you're like, hey, can I get a sponsorship with this like game company or something like that to down the road you're trying to maybe get early access, like, you know, if there's a company that's allowing for some streamers to have like early access to a game or you know or if gamer subs, if you're about to get your own flavor or something like that, you know maybe don't use your account to have like a bunch of stuff that it's like, um so do you want to explain this tweet you made
Yeah.
of
So,
so post it using your using your business account like a personal account at 3 a.m. is maybe not a good idea, let's put it that way.
yeah.
All the counts, no horny on main,
Agreed.
exactly. Basically,
Agreed.
Pyro, yes.
Because I've been streaming full time for roughly 2, 3 years, and you very much have to think of this like your business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that scares them because when you think business, it kind of you're like, okay, so I'm not gonna have fun with this. I'm gonna let you know, this being my business, I have so much freaking fun.
Mm.
Like, yeah, it can be stressful at times, but I get to do a whole bunch of fun stuff. Like I get to like put together my own events. I get to plan my own schedule, my own work time. and all this kind of stuff. Like it seems scary, but it's actually a lot of fun, and I like to think of it like a business because I like that process of, like, planning out, like, all these events and all these cool stuff that I'm gonna do. I just really enjoy it. But yeah, if you wanna do this, like, as a job, you have to start thinking of it like a business and start planning.
Yeah, your your alt account cannot just be your streamer name plus After Dark or personal. They- yeah, you,
Yeah!
yeah. Listen, it's you can be like completely unhinged in your Discord server. Okay, be there, whatever. As long as you're in a room with everyone that's 18 or over. Okay. Listen,
Yep.
I know there's the temptation, the fact that just because you become a streamer does not mean. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. The joke.
I understand, I understand. Anyway, moving on. Damn. But yeah, so,
I know the
since
meme, but don't give in to the temptation to embrace the meme.
oh,
The
don't do
streamer
it.
meme.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I know you played Minecraft on stream, but don't.
Don't do it. Oh, how was that Minecraft stream? I caught like a little bit of it.
Let's see. Oh, me? I don't like.
Right?
I don't think that was me. Well, there was like I
Okay,
did Minecraft
someone.
quite a while ago or whatever. I don't think it was. I don't as far as me doing, but it's like been forever since I did Minecraft. I did it for like a few
Okay, then
times.
yeah. Then bring Goldberg. Listen, I had to keep up with like a lot of people. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine. No,
No, so I have a question for
you're
you.
seeing
Do
other
you
red kobolds. I see how it is.
I know, right? No, no, but I have a question. As a streamer, do you have a lot of like different friend groups that you like bounce around to, or do you just kind of have like one friend group that you hang out in?
Uh, so I have like some different ones that it's kind of uh although a lot of them I did kind of meet through like uh I don't know if you remember like uh you remember Don Enzo, the lion VTuber? He hasn't streamed in like a couple years or whatever, but
Sounds familiar.
um but he's somewhat active on social media occasionally, but he hasn't like streamed in a couple years, unfortunately. But I met a lot of people and eventually like Geronimo Kiddo, like through him. So it's this like similar like, and then this sort of, so in my head, it's kind of like I have the Enzo slash Geronimo Kiddo pipeline of people I've met that it's like,
I'm part of it.
yeah. So that's kind of like branched out. So I so let's see. Pyro says I have 5 groups that contain no overlap. So
I wish that was the case for me.
so there's some groups I have that have like some overlap or whatever that tend to be, but they don't necessarily they overlap with some or whatever. I could start doing like a Venn diagram. I feel like of like occasionally of some that might have a little bit of overlap, but not like a whole lot. Um, so, but I try to reach out. I probably need to reach out to more like completely like no overlap at all friend groups.
No, I understand that. I do have like different friend groups that I hop around on, and it's gotten to the point where a lot of them overlap weirdly, and it's hard to explain. So I I have to keep up with like who knows what group, and like keep up with like what games they play, and I'm just like, oh, wait a second. And then I start forgetting like what group they're a part of, and I'm like, how did I meet you again? It's like, oh, we met through this person. I was like, oh, okay. It's just, and I even though that's like it's really hard to keep up with.
Let me get
It's
out the
also
chart. Let me get out the chart with the thread
yeah,
and
I'm like
thumbnails.
I got this. Hold on, I'm gonna put this together. But it's also a lot of fun because like through this like weird mess of like being in different groups, I have met so many amazing people. And then
Mm,
as I said, like some of these people have like open doors to where I'm meeting like other people and it's some of these people got me into like editing, so that's why I kind of started like getting more comfortable with YouTube. So I'm becoming more active with YouTube, and so I get a lot of like my information from like different people, um and all this kind of stuff. So I want to be useful for other people as well. And a lot of people know me, being they call me, the horror expert because I love spooky, scary games. So, like, one of the very small projects I've been doing is I've been throwing together like a Google Doc sheet of all the horror games that I played that I recommend. So, because sometimes I get people like in my DMs being like, "Hey, I would really like to play like a scary game, but I don't want to go play like Resident Evil or something like that." And so I just kinda slide this list, and I'm like, "Most of these are indie games. Some of them are free because I have some itch.io games on here, but, like, I also have them color coded because I also have some friends that are they want to dive into horror, but, I don't wanna call them scaredy cats, but they're, like, newer, and they get jump scared easily. So, I have, like, color codes of, like, games that are, like, not super jump scare that might be easier on them. I have
mm,
some that are like kind of like, "Hey, viewer warning is advised." So, and trying to be helpful
mm,
any way that I can, which is usually through, spooky scary games because that's just kind of something that I really like to dive into other than just talking about streaming stuff because I like to research, analytics
mm.
and all this kind of stuff. I love numbers. Numbers makes it what do they mean? I will tell you,
Yeah.
come here.
You know what you could do? It would be that it wouldn't be a game, but it would be like, a horror thing where it was is you could go through stream like, just on stream for like your chat of like um analog horror series. Have you considered going
Yeah,
to
I've
that?
been wanting to do that.
So
I've been
like
wanting to do that.
uh the Greylock series would be a great one. Or I believe it was called the Monument series or whatever. Those would be like two like really cool ones that would be whatever of maybe that would be Monument and Mythos. Yes, there we go. Someone one of your homies knows it then.
Of course it's Dean. Dean, who asked you? Also, thank you. So that's one of my close friends. Oh my goodness.
I binge all of them.
Of course
Oh
you
yeah.
did. I'm not surprised. That's just kind of up his alley. Dean, frick you. How dare.
I mean, listen, it's what's not liked about the Monument Mythos. It's got horrific creatures under monuments just outside of the public eye, and James Dean being president instead of Nixon. It's got everything.
Oh, that's scary. Ooh. Oh, but I hide away from that. I'm scared.
Uh, yeah.
Oh my,
It's not to love. We get the massive freedom statue murdering people exactly.
oh my, oh my goodness.
It is a trip. Yeah. Generally, if you did like a night as like or maybe it was like a special goal. If you reach something where you just like we'll do a Monument Mythos watch along for like the whole series. That would be a trip.
That would be interesting. Oh,
Yeah. All right. So I think we've gone for like wow. We've been having fun and time flying and all that type of stuff. So
what? Like that's like 3 hours. Oh yeah.
yeah. So but this has been loads of fun. I really if just if you ever want me like on a guest on your channel for something or whatever, feel free
Absolutely.
to.
Bestie, I'm gonna snatch you. I got you. Don't worry.
You know, if you need me to go on like because you know you need someone to do, you know, to sound all fancy and purty and you know do that for some reading or some such thing. You know, I got you covered.
Absolutely.
Um, you know, hey, if you want someone to do the Mion voice for you want to do volume 1 of Higurashi because it's free for one day as a strange experiment of this is probably not gonna,
I got you. I
you know.
got you. I
Um,
got you.
and let's see. So I will let you since. So do you have any current projects or big events that you want to inform people of that you're doing, that are coming up?
Um, I can I can kind of bring up one that's not full. It's not like ready. It's still in the works. But as we were saying, kind of like with Bats and Banter, I have gotten the green light to kind of take that torch and do a similar event to that, but it's gonna be with furries and Sonic OCs.
Mm.
So that is very so we're gonna be doing that sometime in 2025. Doing a very similar Bats and Banter. We don't really have a name for it yet. It's still very much in the works, but me and another bestie are gonna be hosting something very similar to Bats and Banter. So
Mm.
that's kind of one of the big projects that we're working on. So I am super excited. We got blessings from Geronimo Kiddo, so I'm super excited.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's one of the big projects that I can kind of crack the door open, but I can't say much else other than that.
you know what? It's since it's December. If you don't mind, I do have like 2 quick Christmas related questions that I feel I should ask. If you don't
Absolutely.
mind. Okay. So what is your favorite Christmas or holiday movie?
Ooh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the stop motion one.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I actually saw a short today about that involved some like factoids about that and like
I did too,
was
and
it
I didn't know. They were talking about how they didn't like a guy quickly made it and one of the facts was the corporate didn't want Rudolph's nose to be red because they thought it was gonna be like like kind of a symbol of like was it like alcohol or something like that?
Oh,
I don't
okay, the
know.
red nose. Yeah, that might
Yeah,
be in
yeah,
cartoons and stuff. That was tend to be like the thing of oh, that means this cartoon character is drunk. Okay, I see what they were doing.
yeah. So like they were talking about like that kind of stuff and how eventually like it became super popular and the guy that originally made Rudolph, they finally signed the rights over to him so he was able to profit off of it, which is
Mm.
really cool. So,
Okay, I saw a different thing. It was about how one of the things it had was like that so like the original Rudolph and Santa puppets like because for a long time they were actually like shown, you know, to the public on like travel and stuff like that. Um, but they were in really bad shape. Like Rudolph's nose had fallen off, and um, part of like Santa's mustache was gone, and he had like mold growing up on the beard or whatever.
oh
But
no.
a guy in like they were sold off to a private owner in like 2006, 2007. But so he bought them, and then he actually took them to like a studio, a studio that like worked in claymation or whatever, so they could be restored. And like you know, and this company did it for like just for the company that did they did it just for like the cost of like the actual parts or whatever. Uh, so like, and not actually charging for the labor and stuff like that. And like the guys like put them on like for people to display or whatever. Really one of those nice labor of love type stories. And it's like you try to remember that things do like that happen sometimes in movies.
Yeah. A
Uh,
lot of times that stuff gets covered up by such negativity
yeah,
that we don't realize how much like positivity is
yeah.
actually happening in the world.
Oh yeah, for sure. Love the old claymation Christmas movies here without a Santa being one of my favorites. Hmm. Yeah. And the next quick question is, so is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
technically, yes. Technically, yes. I will allow it. So,
My
yes,
comment
I
is,
guess.
yeah, my way of thinking it is, if
Yeah,
if
it counts.
if I will say, if It's a Wonderful Life counts as a Christmas movie, then Die Hard is a Christmas movie, because a whole bunch of the movie of It's a Wonderful Life does not even take place at Christmas and does not have anything to do with Christmas. It
Yep.
could actually easily happen at a different time of year and the story would still work. Whereas Die Hard, the fact that it's a Christmas party and that it's part of like the plot by you know, is Christmas has actually more to do with the plot. That it's facts he's coming in because it's Christmas. It actually has to be at some like holiday where most businesses are closing. There's going to be a big end of the year thing. It's actually important to the plot and the scheme. It's more of a Christmas movie.
Yeah. That's why I was like, technically, yes. So,
So it's one of those things. So if It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That is my reasoning.
honestly, like, valid. I understand.
Okay. Now with that cursed knowledge or everything, people are gonna that can bother them when they see uh see you know, him talking to Clarence and stuff like that. If they immediately think of, is this really a Christmas movie? Oh my gosh,
Listen, I'm gonna start questioning
that
myself
stupid
now.
kobold. What has he done to me?
Damn, he brings up a good point.
Darn you, Virgil. Darn you to heck.
How dare.
But now, so I will say, so is there anyone that you would like us to rate out to?
Oh, frick. Let me go look because I did not have. I only had your stream open. Let me see who deserves some love. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-dum.
And while you're doing that, I will say, let me give you a shout out. We'll do a shout out for you, and also tomorrow actually it'll be the same start time, so 7 p.m. Central Time. Is I will be having another episode of Spilling the Tea, where my guest will be Nyanberry, so who designed my OC, and a number and not all of the emotes, all of them save one. All the emotes except for the licky one are done by Nyanberry. So
Gotcha. Let's do. How long have they been live? I don't know how much longer they're gonna be live, but too late. We're doing it. I'm gonna send you their name in our private.
Fuck's sake, really?
DMs. Here we go. There's someone from That's a Banter. Looks like they're playing. Wait, Guilty Gears. It's like a fighting game. It looks really cool.
oh
So,
yeah, I know Guilty Gears. I haven't played it, but I know. I played a little bit of one installment many years ago as a young kobold, but
yeah.
it's like a big 2D fighting series.
But yeah, they are a PNG tuber. They are a space pirate, and they're really freaking cool. Very sweet. Highly recommend. Again, they've been going for 3 hours. I don't know how much longer they're gonna go, but if we rated, we could keep them going.
Okay, yeah, force them, bully them
Force
into
them.
going for
Do
another
it.
hour.
Bully, please. I
Look,
beg.
so thank you so much. And let me get our raid messages up. But Um, once again, thank you so much for being a guest, Sam. It was a blast having you on here. Um,
Absolutely. Thank you so much for letting me come on and talk about my obsession, which is streaming. So
yeah,
thank you so much.
yes, and thank you everyone that came in. Thank you for all the new follows. Um, and thank you for that gave the bits as well. And also there was the raid, Kit the Fox. Yes, I think it was Kit the
Yes.
Fox. Yes. Thank you all so much. Um, and I will see y'all tomorrow. But in the meantime, y'all have a lovely night, day, whatever time zone happens to be. Thank you all, and bye bye.
It's a beautiful
Goodbye.
day and I can't stop myself from smiling. If we're dreaming